Welcome, everyone. We are so glad to have you with us today to join us on day 3 of the Livecast. We've had some amazing folks join us this week, and we're starting over again on that today with more amazing folks. Let me make sure I get the sound turned off on. That's one thing about when you go live, it pops it up in another window and you're hearing it while you're speaking. And so we got that turned off. That's taken care of. So good morning, Brenda. Let's start with you. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Regina. How are you?
Oh my goodness.
What's the weather like in Houston?
Well, it's a sunny day in Houston. Our temperatures rose again. We were getting down in nice, cool fall weather in the 70s or so. And I think we're back up in the 80s, maybe even the 90s. So sunny and bright and yeah, enjoying it. And we know in London, that's not something you say, right? Sunny and bright.
But as in the scheme of things, actually today is a little bit brighter. It's
Good.
a little bit, it's not as warm. Yesterday it was actually warmer than it is today. So even that is autumn, actually it's not so, it's stopped raining. So we are very grateful for that. Anyway, sorry, Bob. Hello, Bob. Let's welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
And welcome people wherever you are on planet Earth. We are so happy that you're making time to join us on this event, which we hope will be as impactful as we would like to think that it's designed to be, because we spent a lot of time, 9 whole months, Regina and I, my partner in crime and I, 9 whole months actually creating this baby, and it feels like an actual baby, this event. So we're so pleased that you are here to witness the birth of our dear beloved baby.
And it has certainly had its labor pains. But we have survived them.
But joy too. But
absolutely.
Joy too.
It
like
has
any
been
pregnancy.
a joy.
Yeah, and joy too. Yeah.
So
Regina, would you like to introduce Bob?
I would love to.
You know him better than I do. So I think that would be better.
Well, Bob and I met recently. Actually, it's not been that long that we've known each other, but it was just one of those instant connections. You know how you make those instant connections. We have laughed a lot together, and and we believe we'll be laughing a lot together for a long time to come. And so it's I'm going to let Bob tell you about his journey, though. I don't want to give away all the stuff myself. I love to have people tell their own story because it's so much more impactful than me trying to do that for them.
Absolutely.
But Bob is an award-winning coach. And when I say award-winning, I'm not talking just one award either. This man has lots of accolades to go with his title. And so, Bob, we are so happy to have you participate in this event with us and to be here with us this morning so folks can get to know you ahead of time.
Yes.
So welcome. Would you take a few moments and tell us a little bit about your journey? What's brought you to this stage in your life?
My pleasure. Thank you so much again for having me. I'm really honored to be here today. I love this question because I get this question so many times a week. It gives me an opportunity to really share why I do what I do. And the reason I get to do what I do is to help seasoned leaders who are successful and know they're successful, but they know there's another level. And we help them get there. And I take that back to my journey. And most people that work with me will see very fast, I'm very transparent. And most of my experience and most of my wisdom really comes from what I've been through. And I always love to say my journey started back in high school when my basketball coach put his arm around me and said, "Bob, I think you'd make a better wrestler." And I love that because I went and wrestled and wasn't very good at that, but I went and wrestled. And I look back going, wait a second, he insulted me. But he gave me what I did not know then. He gave me one of the greatest gifts that I've ever received. I went to DeVry Electronics School. For whatever reason, I thought being an electronics technician was for me. Little did I know that I can't work with my hands. My basketball coach tried to tell me that. I didn't listen. And I remember everything I touched, I broke. I'm a master of taking a 15-minute job and turn it into 3 hours. They had a great idea of, Bob, you'll do less damage in the classroom. So I went into the classroom, training clients and training customers. That's where I shine. That's where I just love to be. Through many years of ministry, through many years of in the insurance industry and different industries that I've been in, I always gravitated to the classroom. I always gravitated to helping other people become better than who I am. And I learned that when I was in the insurance industry, where I had the privilege of training other insurance agents. And what I found is I have more joy and watching other people succeed than watching my own success. And yes, I was successful to a point. I was very successful in the sales industry. What I found is I was able to make other people better than who I am. And I am able to take that through my coaching industry, through my coaching practice. And I get so much joy of watching other people become great. And I always say is anybody can be successful, but not everybody is significant. And when you're significant, you are always successful. So I break that down into everything in front of us is either a stumbling block or a stepping stone. It's up to us. It's our choice how we perceive that. If we see it as a stepping stone, we move further ahead. If we see it as a stumbling block, we fall backwards. And I still credit my high school basketball coach for sharing that with me at a very young age.
And
Wow.
kindness in
Wow.
sharing that, right?
Yes, it's great. One of my favorite stories because it's really helped me form who I really am.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So who do you help currently? I mean, obviously you've helped a lot of folks along the way. Who do you help most currently? Who's your ideal client?
I love to say this because I say this and then everybody smiles and chuckles. And I say it's not everybody. I help people with 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, and 2 ears. And everybody chuckles. I say that's not everybody. That's actually the very few. And the reason I say that is I work in a lot of different industries. I don't work with salaries. I don't work with positions or in industries. I have worked with people from the 18-year-old who is ready to take on the world to the billion-dollar CEO and everybody in between. And what I have noticed is that what people are looking for is 2 things. Number one, somebody that cares about them genuinely, and somebody that really understands them. And this is really who my target market is people that, number one, they see my value. They have a need that they believe I'm able to help them with, and they're willing to invest in themselves. And although in my niche or my sweet spot, that's generally companies of 80 people or less. When I work in big companies, it's usually departments of 80 people or less. It's really not about the company or the position or the salary or the industry. It's really about people. And one of the things that I focus on is I offer 5 things. I offer somebody that will understand them better than anybody else. I offer somebody that will give them hope when all they can see is the light at the end of it. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I share with them that it's there and it's not an oncoming train. Nobody will have more passion than I will about them, with the exception of them. Accountability, but most of all, that trusted advisor. And that's what I'm able to offer people each and every day. I don't guarantee success. That is their job. But what I tell them, when they fall, I do not pick them up. I will sit down beside them. We'll get up together. And the journey is theirs. I just want to be honored to come along beside them and help them in any which way I can.
I love that philosophy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love the sitting, you sit down together with them and you really start where they're at, rather than you wanting someone to fit in with how you work, and for someone to kind of to get themselves to the point you want them to be, or you're expecting them to be. And I love the way you just said, no, I sit down next to them and I sit down, then we walk along together. And I love the approach that you took about stepping stones. And I just love that. And when you get to know me better, you'll understand why I've written a book about stepping stones. So yeah, I think that's just amazing. What brought you to want to join us, join our event, Bob? What made the decision for you that you thought, oh, this is an event worth you investing some time in, some energy in?
Great question. Thank you so much for asking. And it really goes back to Regina's introduction that we clicked as 2 professionals, and I love to click with like-minded people, and a lot of the way we think is very similar, although the way we do things is very different. And I love to work with people, not based on what we have in common, but how we can complement our differences. And
synergy.
And when as synergy, absolutely. And as Virginia and I have talked and discovered, how can we really work together to serve others together? This opportunity was there, and it was one of those opportunities that is, to me, it was a no-brainer. It was an opportunity that was there. I know Regina really only focuses on things that really serve other people. I do the same thing, and this was one of those opportunities that I couldn't pass up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. We're so pleased that you could make the time in your such a busy schedule. And I love the thing, this philosophy too about kindred spirit, and not kindred spirit in terms of, well, I will only invest time in people who actually are within my comfort zone. It's actually good to have people who expand your comfort zone, who actually sort of stretch you, because that way we grow and develop, don't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What kind of challenges have you come across in the way that you work?
I love that. I would also suggest that I would probably say challenges, also opportunities.
Yes,
And
of course.
really, everything
Of
is an
course.
opportunity. And one of the big questions I've gotten in the past year and a half is, how has this 2020, this COVID time, all these challenges affected you? And I've said that they haven't affected me in any different than any past year. Every year provides challenges, every year provides opportunities. And one of the things that I've said throughout this past year and a half is business as usual. Yes, we've tweaked our systems, we've tweaked our processes, but our mindset has not changed. And the challenges in 2019, we approach them by adapting, influence, and managing. We stay true to our systems, we stay true to our processes. We're in the lowest of valleys. We keep on the gas, because what brought us to the top brings to the valley is the same process. When we're in the valley, we use the same processes to get to the mountaintop. When we're on the mountaintop, we use the same processes to keep us there. And life is about valleys and mountaintops. So I like to say the challenges is really what, like what you said, it pulls us out of our comfort zone. It allows us to grow, because you cannot be comfortable and grow. There's a reason we have growing pains. And I always tell people, when you're heading down into the valley, the one thing you need to do is stomp on the gas, because that'll give you momentum to get back up the hill. And how do we do that? Is through discipline. Discipline is doing what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. And that persistency is nothing more than discipline and action. What has got us through this past couple of years is our discipline and our persistency. What will get us in through 2021 and into 2022 and beyond is the consistency and discipline. And that's one of the things, not only do we teach, but we practice each and every day.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
That's
awesome.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Bob, one of the things I don't think we've spoken about yet very much, and so I'm really going to put you on the spot here, okay? Put your thinking hat on for a moment here. And that is that part of what we've done here is, we've structured this event so that everybody has an opportunity to create their business model based on what we're teaching throughout the event. So we have basically 4 days of the event, and then we have a wrap up on Saturday. So we start on Tuesday. On Monday, we're working on mindset. On Tuesday and Wednesday, on Tuesday, we're working on mindset. Wednesday and Thursday, we're working on foundation, all the foundational elements of your business. And then Friday is about implementation based on what we've been learning through the week. And because we know that there's only so much that you can absorb, and we've got 26 workshops over this 4 days, including one on Saturday. Because of that, we have made available that folks can purchase the recordings of the event if they would like, which comes with a group VIP session with Brenda and I, a half-day group VIP day. And then we've also made available to them an opportunity to take that plan that they've created over this 4 or 5 days and submit it into a contest. Okay. And we have a panel of 5 judges that are going to do that. Some amazing folks in the business world who have agreed to be judges. And those top 5 or 10 people, 5 at least, will have the opportunity to have their proposal reviewed by these 5 judges and get feedback on that proposal. Now, some of the things we've done to incentivize that is we've contributed, and we've asked each of the speakers if they would be willing to contribute some kind of a gift for people taking those two upsells. The first one being the recordings of the VIP session, and the second one coming into the contest where they have that opportunity to get feedback on what they've created over this week. And you and I have not discussed, I think at this point, gifts that you might like to offer to that, or if we have, I haven't recorded it. So let's get it on record today. What you would be willing to offer to those first two levels of upsells. That way, our third upsell is a bundle of the first two, and so they would get everything anyway. And then if there's something, our prize package right now is up to $38,924 worth of value in this prize package currently.
Okay.
We'd love to add something from you into there as well as gifts. Any thoughts on what you'd be willing to do to incentivize folks to take this to the next level?
Putting him on the hot seat.
I am, but I can do that because he won't hold it against me.
Apologies,
No,
Bob, that
no.
we didn't ask you before. Honestly, so sorry about this.
No
We want
problem, no
everybody else-
problem.
I know
Absolutely.
that he will respond on the spot. That's why I'm comfortable asking it. I have no issues.
Based on a conversation we had beforehand,
Exactly.
liver and onions dinner. How about that?
Yes.
And that's
You all
the
missed
deal
out
later
on liver and
that.
onions.
Episodes, yeah.
A great question. I love that. I'd love to offer what I have. I think
I
what
knew
we
you
have
would.
is very valuable. Here at Caveat Institute, one of the things that we offer, and we will offer this to anybody, is a free 1-hour business coaching session that will help people, number one, clarify their current position, discover their destination, and help them close that gap. And then we can help them take that to the next level as well. But we'll give them that first 1-hour complimentary coaching session. The other one I think is very valuable is called a working from home assessment. It's based on the DISC assessment, and it's one of those that has a $399 value because we will actually review it with them. So we'll offer a working at home assessment that'll help them understand how to communicate best, not only in person, but also online and in a hybrid world. So that's one of our greatest tools that we offer. It's a working at home, and it helps not only understand how they think, but it also helps them understand how other people think as well, so they can communicate at another level. And we talk about how to communicate in someone else's sandbox. Not expecting someone to communicate the way you like to be communicated, but understand how someone else communicates. And one of the things that we can help them with is what's called understanding how someone thinks within 20 seconds. And that's also part of that program as well. So definitely we'd be more than happy to offer that $399 value, as well as the complimentary one-on-one business coaching session.
Very good.
Get together with Barbara Ellison.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, you need to get together with Barbara Ellison, who does also how to communicate
I would love
with
to
somebody
do that.
at their communication level. Yeah.
That would be a great conversation. I'd love to have that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bob, thanks for taking that one out of the blue. I knew you could handle it. I had no doubt.
I'm very impressed.
We have that kind of a relationship. You know?
That's
I
good.
knew he'd roll with it.
I figured you did, but I had to say that.
Absolutely.
So Bob, without giving away too much, tell us some of the kinds of nuggets that folks are going to come away from in your class, what they're going to be learning in the class that you're going to be teaching as part of this.
Well, the workshop is talking about how to create your vision, your mission, and create a company name. And what we talk about is nothing in business is easy.
Yeah.
However, everything can be simple. So we talk about the difference between easy and difficult, and simple is complicated. The biggest mistake that most people make is they interchange easy and simple.
Yeah.
Business is never easy. Creating a vision is not easy. Creating your mission is not easy. However, creating your company name is not easy either. What we're going to do is simplify the process. We're going to teach you how to simplify the process of creating your vision, simplify the process of creating your mission. And then when we bring the mission and vision together, that will help you create the proper company name. And going back to what I just talked about earlier in our complimentary coaching session, we're going to teach you how to use your vision, mission, and your company name to clarify your starting point, discover your destination, and close that gap. So your journey will never be easy. It will be simple. And that's one of the things that we help people, because once we help people become simple and hear and see things more simplistic, they do become more clear. They're able to see further, and anxiety drops, depression drops, busyness drops, and productivity goes up. So that's one of the directions that we're going to go in our workshop that is called How to Create Your Vision, Mission, and Create Your Company Name.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Fantastic. I think that would be very welcome for most people. Clarity is such a vital ingredient to have actually in business, and particularly I think for new entrepreneurs, because when you're starting out, all you have is an idea and you think it's a good idea, but actually you have no idea how array you may go off the path. You very easily, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what questions to ask, because you don't know how actually it's supposed to work. So I like that. I think your gift is going to be so welcome for people.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
that's very generous of you. Thank you so much. So full of gratitude. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this event is going to be such a bonus for folks who are just starting off.
Yeah.
There's so much value here. And as we've been interviewing folks this week, it's like, I am excited about going into some of these classes for what I'm going to learn, not just for our attendees, but it's like, yes, there's so many things that are there that are going to take our knowledge to the next level and cut that learning time down for folks, and cut down the mistake time, the errors that we make that cost us so much in time and money.
And energy. Yeah, very sapping of energy.
So my next question for you then, another one to put you on the spot.
And you like this one, Bob.
And Bob asked me ahead of time, as we were waiting for folks to come in, he said, just an idea. And I said, well, we're going to talk about, your journey and what you're teaching and stuff. And then there are some surprise questions. This is one of those.
Bring them on.
Bring them on. So as you think about this event and someone who's just starting off in business, and they have this opportunity to sit down with 26 different experts in their fields and learn from them, sit at their knee kind of a thing, and learn from them and go through these workshops and build their plan over the course of this week. And then the opportunity to participate in that contest and put their plan in front of these 5 amazing judges and get feedback on their plan. What kind of a value can you put on that?
While you're just, Bob, 1 minute.
She's not going to say, wait.
Just 1 minute, please, because I want to buy you time so that you could just sort of think about it. I just want to say something about our head judge. We are absolutely thrilled to actually have all 5 of them, because they are absolutely eminent entrepreneurs. They are top of their game in each of their industries. But our head judge is actually nicknamed modern day Napoleon Hill, just to show you the kind of people that we've got involved. He is a serial entrepreneur. He is a successful filmmaker and film producer. He is just amazing, absolutely amazing. And in fact, he's agreed to open the event for us. He's going to give the keynote speech on the first day. So you're going to kind of get some idea of what kind of person he is. So, and the others are just equally awesome, just absolutely awesome. Everybody's going to be blown away. So I thought I'd just share that. Buy you time. My colleague throwing all these questions at you.
So to get that kind of feedback from that level of expertise, what would that be worth at this stage of the game for folks?
Invaluable. I believe we talk about what we talk about is a caveat. The reason we're here is because we serve aspiring and seasoned leaders. And
Yes.
there's seasoned leaders, a lot of times they understand this. They understand that leadership isn't about going it alone. It's about going with a team. It's about finding that value and taking in that value. One of the biggest pieces of advice I could give though to those aspiring leaders that you're just starting off, don't fall into the trap of thinking you've got to do it yourself and thinking you have to go it at alone. Because so many people think one of the things I hear all the time is if you got to do it, if you want to get it done right, you got to do it yourself. Nobody is out there to help you with it, which is so untrue. Take those opportunities and don't go in with the idea of, yes, I know. Go into it with an open ear and take everything that you hear. Most importantly, those things that are hard to hear, those things that are difficult to hear, those things that disagree with what you sometimes concluded. Because if you think about those, hearing wisdom from people that have been there will help you create a whole new way of thinking. It'll help you create a whole new way of understanding. And it'll also begin that clarity of, as you're starting off, it could help you take that journey and make it much more simple. So I would say, whether you have been in business for 0 days or you've been doing this for 100,000 years, you sit there and listen to everybody, not only the panel, but the workshop leaders, the people around you, because everybody around you can give you some wisdom, whether you agree with it or not. There's always wisdom in what somebody has to say. And I've learned that over the years, where I remember when I first started coaching, I thought, when I started my own business, it's like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been in the corporate world. And I still remember how much I've learned from day one as my own practice compared to where I'm at today. And I'm looking for that next opportunity because I know it's there and there's people around me to support me as well. The other side of it is I talk about role models. And my role models are not only people that have helped me, not only people that have supported me, but it's also those people that's try to derail me. It goes back to stumbling blocks and stepping stones. And many times I look back, and sometimes the people that try to derail me are oftentimes the people that helped me get where I needed to go. And I have some of those people that I think I should give a thank you card saying, thank you for being a jerk. Because if they gave me what I deserve, I may not be where I'm at today, but they propelled me to where I'm at today. So I would say, take everything in, listen to it, apply it. You may agree or disagree, but everything that you hear, there's always a gold nugget.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it. Very valuable, Bob.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
So good morning, Bob. I'm Barb Sayers.
Yes, we were going to get there, but we didn't want to interrupt his interview.
Didn't want to interrupt the flow. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. Very.
You said
I
some
can't wait.
profound things there, Bob.
We're processing.
Yeah, I think that's why we're processing some profound things that you've said.
Yeah.
And I think particularly about, the business of, and I mean, I wouldn't use the word you've used because I'm not quite used to it, but those people who rub us up the wrong way, so to speak. Really, you're absolutely spot on. As much as this exam and is annoying, frustrating, and all the rest of it, upsetting sometimes, but actually, if you take a step back, you realize that they have given you a perspective. Because you don't have that perspective, is actually an invaluable way of looking at things. You might not have actually gleaned if you just been continuing on your narrow little path. So you're absolutely right. I'm not sure that I'd go as far as sending the card, but quietly in my head, I would thank them and say, you know what, you did me a favor.
Bless them and send them on their way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying quietly, thank you.
That's great. Bob, any other thoughts that you have that you'd like to share about the event? Anything
Right
you'd
now,
like
my
to say?
biggest thought is I am ready to go. I am excited. I don't know who's going to be in the class, but I will say this. I am honored to be part of this. I feel privileged. I want to say thank you for inviting me to be part of this. And thank you for allowing me to share some of my wisdom and my experiences. And for those of you that are going to be part of the class, thank you in advance for your participation. Thank you for listening. And thank you for allowing me to take a small part of your lives and share some gold nuggets that I pray and I hope that you would take those and help other people become successful and significant.
Awesome.
Well, lovely, lovely, lovely. If someone is sitting at home or commuting and they're just they've come across this this recording on YouTube, but they're on the fence about attending, what would you say to them, Bob?
Absolutely attend. This is one of those opportunities that the quality of the 4 days is going to be immeasurable. Pay attention to the small things, pay attention to some of the things that aren't being said, and really understand that the effort and the time and the value that's going into this can only help you get where you need to be. It's not about how much you know each day, it's how much you learn so you can help somebody else become better than who they are. And I always say, as great leaders always understand that, and as you aspire to be that great leader, this is just one more opportunity to give you that gold nugget that you can not only use but also share as well.
Awesome. And I'd like to add to that too, that Bob and all of the other speakers are donating their time to teach this for you. And the classes are free for you to attend. Now, if you want to get the recordings, you want to be in the contest, that kind of a thing, there is a price tag with those. But this is absolutely free for you to attend and to gain and to learn from all of these experts and really get your business off to a grand start. And even if you've been in business for a while, as Bob said, there's going to be so much here that you can still learn. I'm excited to learn from these speakers, and I've been in business a long time. And I hope you can all see why it was a no-brainer choice to invite Bob to teach this class. It was just like, I got the guy. It's going to be amazing. Bob, thanks so much for joining us today. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
Barbara, is there anything you want to say? Because you haven't had much chance to say anything.
No, I am in total, excuse me, alignment with Bob's philosophy, and really looking forward to hearing your workshop, because I think I could benefit greatly from what you have. And as with Regina, I've been in business for a long time, and I'm still learning and loving learning. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, yes, I mean, I can echo that, really, I'm looking forward to learn from Bob and the other speakers, and it's about all of us learning from each other, because, we bring with us very different, golden nuggets, as you call them, Bob, as we normally, Regina and I, call them. And that's because of our disparate backgrounds in some respects, but those are the strengths that we're going to be sharing, and also the experiences we've had in corporate. I mean, I've been less in business, less in terms of time, if you're talking about private business, because I've been more in corporate. My whole working life has been more in corporate, but actually, the longer I stayed in corporate, the more I realized that actually it's a business by any other name. It's just that the money is public money, but actually it's a business. So there is a lot that, those of you who can make the time, who can join us, that you're just going to be learning without even realizing that you're learning. Because actually, in fact, at the time of the event next week, and by the time you leave us, most of us, you're actually going to realize something like 10% of how much you've taken from the event. It is as time goes on that actually you come across certain experiences and certain incidents and the work that you'll be doing, and particularly for new entrepreneurs, as you begin your journey, the more that you go down that path and you are setting up your business, you're suddenly going to think, oh my God, now I understand what was said in that workshop. I didn't know that it meant this, because you're going to then get the experience of it. Without the experience, I think a lot of it, some of it might be just concepts and so on, but that doesn't actually devalue, the value of the whole thing, the benefit of the whole thing, really. Just because you can't, yes, we want you to implement as much as possible the moment that the event finishes, and which is why our last day is about implementation. But you cannot expect to implement all the knowledge and everything that you've learned from day one, on day one. It's just not possible. It's a process, and that's why we call it a journey. So please come with that in mind. Come with an open mind, as Bob was saying. Be receptive, and even to things that you just think, oh, shut up, I don't want to hear that. That doesn't make sense to me. Those are the things that actually you need to pay attention to.
And
The word
why-
that, oh, go
Why
ahead.
would you go it alone and try to do it all by yourself when you have all of this knowledge available to help you succeed?
Yeah, absolutely, Barbara.
And the word that comes to my mind as you were talking there, Brenda, is that they're creating a roadmap
Yes.
for the journey forward. In these classes, they're going to work on creating that roadmap
Absolutely.
that you said, as those experiences come, then they'll more knowledge will sink in, but they'll have that roadmap to go by to know how to deal with that experience when it comes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much in the workshops that we've done our best to cover everything from, like what Bob is doing, teaching, your vision and your mission and naming your business. I mean, that's pretty basic, right?
Yeah.
To implementing your sales processes, to creating your strategies and tactics for your business, for your marketing, to how are you going to manage your financial affairs. There's so much in here that
Pretty basic, but so vital.
Yes.
And things that you probably haven't thought of if you're just starting out, and maybe even if you've been at it for a while, you didn't think of this particular aspect that really is super impactful to your business.
Yeah. And every time I listen to one of the speakers about what they're going to be teaching about, I'm like, I want to sit in on that class.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to hear what you're going to do there.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. Bob, we welcome you to stay with us as long as you can. I know you've got some appointments this morning, but it's been such a pleasure to have you here this morning. We're so grateful that you made time for us and for our audience. And like I said,
I'm really chuffed to meet you in person. So really, very, very grateful that you could actually make the time. So say hello. Yes, thank you for that.
Look forward to next week. Meeting everybody. I do have to make my exit because I have a couple coaching sessions to get to.
I knew you did.
It's been a great pleasure speaking with you and meeting you and seeing you again, Regina. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, lovely to meet you both. Take care.
Have a great
see you
day.
Next week.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
Have a great day.
All right.
Yeah, bye-bye,
Bob.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
You see why he's just a perfect fit for
God,
this. I mean, the man is energy and knowledge.
I can see why you sing his praises. My God, he's a firebrand, isn't he?
He is. And he's got a great sense of humor. I mean, literally, our goal is to laugh together. So
yes, I like.
That's a low bar for you, Jean.
It's a what?
A low bar.
Low bar. Love together. Yeah, no, I love his energy and his sense of humor. The two things together that they just left off the page really about him. He's got so much energy and such easy to connect with sense of humor. Really good.
And I would say the energy around his knowledge.
Yes.
I mean, he is so powerful when he's presenting, when he's speaking about the things that he speaks about. He's so powerful.
Yes.
And
when I first joined and you had to because you have not had to do that before, to prompt me to kind of to, what did you call it now, to be on camera.
Oh,
I cut myself.
oh, ouch.
I know, as I sat down, I don't know how I did it. Suddenly there's blood on my desk, and I'm thinking, what is going on my trousers? And
Oh,
fortunately it
I'm
didn't
so
go. I
sorry.
know. I just cut myself on my thumb.
Uh,
We're
so,
Fortunately,
seeing,
fortunately, I actually had this tissue in my pocket. Otherwise, I don't know what I
yeah.
would have done.
Well, we're grateful that you did.
I had to
So,
wrap it around my finger.
yeah. So we're glad you're not bleeding desperately, Brenda, so that you can continue with our live cast here, that you're not going to bleed out
Oh,
on
I
us.
see. You don't want me alive, for me to be
Oh,
alive.
I do
as
want
a
you
friend.
alive.
You just want me to continue on the
I
phone.
want both. I'm glad you're still with us.
Such a low baseline, isn't it, Barbara? Just be alive to continue the work, Brenda. Never mind that I want you alive as a friend. No.
Oh. Folks, this is the way it goes with Brenda and I all the time these days.
Okay, so our boy piped out. That was that noise. So let me see what he was saying.
Okay, and we are still on air, so let's keep going here with the live cast.
I thought it stopped it. You need to cut that out.
I cannot, dear. We are live. This is going out to the world, so let's continue. There's no editing, folks.
Can you ignore that, folks?
No,
can you ignore what I said?
We told you yesterday that we are live and authentic and real, and that's what you're getting. So
life
that's the
happens,
same
and
way.
keep going forward.
Exactly, and that's the same thing that will happen next week. There, we will be live and real and authentic, and our speakers will be, and we'll have a great time, and you'll know that you don't have to be perfect to be a business person, right? We are all
Thank
real.
goodness.
We are human beings first, and then we are business owners.
That was a big lesson for me. I always thought I had to be perfect, and I was so embarrassed if I wasn't, and just super on edge, trying to make sure I'm over that.
Yeah, and especially in today's world, I think the worst thing we can do for our reputations is not be real, live, and authentic.
Yeah.
And to do that fake it till you make it kind of a thing, in terms of when we're on air and doing things. And of course, the more we're on air, and Sherry, come on in, we're ready for you. But the more you're on air, the more you get comfortable with the fact that you're going to say and do something that at some point you're going to go, oops. And it's okay, because people get to know you through your oopses.
And
so
if you can laugh at them, and
all the better. All
keep
the
on
better.
going.
Yeah.
You're an example then.
Yeah.
Of how to persevere.
Absolutely. Just exactly what Bob was talking about, that persistence and that continuing on. And,
right.
Life is too short not to laugh at yourself. Right. I mean,
really,
as Barb said, I set the bar pretty low when I say that our goal is to have a lot of laughter together, because laughter is a hallmark of who I am. It just bubbles out of me. I have no control over it. It just happens. And so, got to be able to laugh at yourself. It's how you stay young and healthy. Laugh at yourself.
Absolutely.
So Brenda, I'm sure, is taking care of the little mishap she had on her end, and she will rejoin us. Sherry, we as soon as you can, then just unmute and bring you back on camera. And so while Sherry's getting ready here, we'll welcome her. We're excited to have her here today. She's going to be the next speaker that we're going to interview. And so I'm going to brag a little on Sherry while we're waiting for her to come on camera. This woman is amazing. I've known her since 2016, I think. We met at a conference in Las Vegas with Jay Fazette and JVology. And she and her husband were there. Then we later went to a conference in Canada. Sherry is from Canada, but my husband and I went to a conference up there that she and her husband were both at. So we got to get to know each other a little better then. And then we've been involved in masterminds, training together. Last week, we did a training together on mind mapping. and how to use mind mapping for your business. And so we've done, hi, Sherry. We've done lots of things together, and this woman is amazing. Yeah, a little more, Sherry. Yeah, we're not quite seeing the top of your head. There you go. We like to see all of your head. So we're just singing your praises, Sherry, talking about you, and Sherry has done so much good work in the world, and I can't even begin to tell you all the things that she's done and that she does. I
can't
am
wait for her class.
constantly impressed by this woman, constantly impressed by her.
Me too.
And so welcome, Sherry, to the Livecast. We're so glad to have you here this morning.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Glad to be here. It's cold here. I want you to know that.
How cold is it? And can you translate that to Fahrenheit? Because
Oh,
I'm no good at centigrade.
I'm not good with Fahrenheit anymore.
Okay.
But it's -8 degrees Celsius.
Celsius.
So that, of course, is what? Less than, well, it's going to be less than 0.
Wow.
Or less than 32. I'm sorry.
Less than 32. So it's under freezing.
I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
20.
Cold.
Freezing
It's
last
called
night.
cold.
Yeah. Cold.
You're
That's all
staying
you have to know.
indoors, right?
Cold.
You're staying
Yes, I am.
indoors, right?
You betcha. Consequently, the warm dress,
There you go. There you go. You got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. Oh, dear.
So well, hopefully Brenda will be back with us in a moment. She had to step away for a moment, and hopefully she'll be right back. But in the meantime, let's go, because we know that you have some things, that you've got a tight schedule as well. And so we want to dive into interviewing you, Sherry, and hearing a lot more about you. So
Well, thank you.
will you share with us a little bit about your journey? You've done so many exciting things and powerful things. Share a little bit about, share a little bit about your journey and what brought you to this place in your life.
Oh, interesting. How far back do you want me to go?
Well, I know you were an entrepreneur very young.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start there. At the age of 10, I started my first business. And that was because Christmas was coming, cold, snow, etc. And I wanted to buy gifts for my family. Mom and dad. I was an only child at that point. And so with that, I looked and went, okay, what can I do? So I was too young to babysit. The thought of going out and shoveling snow, no, not at all. That just did not fit. And so I thought, and one day I think it was a comic book I was probably reading, and there was this little wee ad in it. And this little wee ad said, sell Regal stationery. And I went, I could probably do that. And for those who don't know, Regal stationery here in Canada is, and I don't even know if it still exists, but it was Christmas cards and Christmas wrapping and that sort of thing. And I thought, boy, I could do that. And so you had to, though, send your first $50 order with payment, right?
Right.
None of this charge cards in those days and that sort of thing. So you had to send the payment. Well, I didn't have $50. My mom or my dad, they didn't have $50. So my dad trotted me down to the little town bank, and I got a loan. He co-signed my loan.
I love it.
So I got my $50 loan, was able to make that first one, was able to then, when that got sold, et cetera, pay dad off, get the rest of the funds that I needed in order to continue on. And I did that for a few years. It was excellent. And the big thing it taught me was that no doesn't mean forever. No means not now.
Yeah,
So you
that's
go
a
and
big
you
one.
knock on the door and you get no, and then eventually you get a yes. And it was, I lived in a small community. We were a military base here in Canada, and you knew some of the people, but a lot of them you didn't know. And so it was that aspect about putting yourself out there and being okay with whatever they said. I mean, I was thrilled when they said yes, and I wasn't so happy when they said no, but I lived through it. And for many people who get into any kind of business, that's a big, big problem
Yeah.
because they're not used to
Mhm, mhm.
asking, right?
Right.
And there's that fear of, whoa, what's going to happen to me if they say no? That's life kind of thing. So
You will
I
survive
got
it.
through high school, etc. And then I went on to university. I became a school teacher. I loved it. I taught in 3 provinces here. I taught in Manitoba, Newfoundland, and then Manitoba again, and then in Saskatchewan here. And one day I walked into the classroom. It was a February day. It was cold outside. There was snow on the ground. And of course, being sensible, right? We just cover up all the windows in a schoolroom. And all you could see was the little top, maybe a foot on the top of the windows. And you could see this dull gray. And it's awful. I walked into the classroom and I flipped on the lights and I went, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I have no more energy to give these kids. And it was such a defeating feeling. It was
Wow.
like, oh my gosh, like, where did this come from? It was just bang. It was that fast. And
Wow.
I thought, well, I can't cope with this right now. I've got kids coming in shortly. I've got to get prepared, etc. So put it out of your mind, go home, think about it tonight. So I went through the day, and that night I went home and I had a very wise husband number 1 at that time. And he said, well, if you think you're done, quit. And I went, okay, but it's not quite that easy. It's what's the best thing to do for the kids.
Right.
So I did go in the next day. I did hand in my resignation for the end of the school year. And so from that perspective, I finished off the year. It was about maybe May or June. I got a phone call and it was from the media saying, we hear you've quit. And I went, yeah, I have. Well, what are you going to do? I said, I have absolutely no idea, none. And the fellow on the other end said, well, come and see us. So I went down, and this was the local newspaper in our city. And he said, come to work for us. Because I did not believe at that point in using textbooks in my classrooms. I was teaching grades 1 through 7 kind of thing. I always taught the younger grades. And at that time, I used whatever. I didn't care if you read the back of a cornflake box. I didn't care if you read the directions to how to lace up your skates. It didn't matter to me. And I used a lot of newspapers. Kids could go through and find something they liked to read, and then we would read what was interesting to them. They didn't have to read, Dick and Jane or whatever. That wasn't important.
That's very
So
cool.
anyway, then I had a career at the newspaper and I loved it. I started out with working with teachers throughout our province of Saskatchewan here, and it was great fun helping them get beyond the textbook kind of thing. And then I got a promotion. I got a promotion because my boss left, who was the head of promotions. And I went into, and here's a really critical thing. I went into the president and I said, so-and-so's leaving. And he said, yeah. I said, I'd like his job. And he looked at me and he said, you'd like his job?
Very bold.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I would. And he said, okay.
Okay.
It was done. Like, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Amen. Amen.
And we as women are often so afraid of asking for what we want. And sometimes it's not fear. Sometimes it's that feeling of somebody is going to notice how good I am. Well, not always. It sometimes goes to the person who asks.
Right.
So then I became the promotions manager for the organization. And that was great until my boss, the CEO, the president, left and went to another city, and their president came down to ours. I started getting left out of meetings. I was not invited to the boardroom table. All kinds of things were going on. And I thought, I think I'm out of here. So I phoned somebody who knew this fellow, and I explained everything. And he said, oh yeah, you're out of there. I said, how long have I got? He said, not long. So I went and found another job.
Wow.
But in the interim, between the time when I went in and handed in my resignation and gave them the 2 weeks, because that's what's appropriate here, before I left, we were standing around outside the president's office one day, a bunch of us, and he came over to me, he stuck out his hand, shook my hand, and leaned over and whispered in my ear and said, "I wondered how long it'd take to get rid of you." I thought, "You SOB." I'm sorry, that's not very good language, but that's exactly how I felt. And so, fun and games, I went over and started the HR department in the claims division for our insurance company here in the province. And so I was there, started their HR department for them because they had about 500 employees in that particular part of the organization. And they had nobody looking after HR. It was just a corporate wide of HR. So I did that for a couple of years, got it set up and going. And then somebody said to me, because I had this company of mine working since I'd left teaching, because people were coming to me and saying, "Oh, what do I do? I'm teaching and I've only got these skills and I want to get ahead, but I don't know what to do." And I'm going, no, as a teacher, you've got these skills. And so it was working with them. And one day the light went on and I went, this is a business. So that's when I started the business. So moving forward, it was a part-time thing. I did these other jobs full-time and did this part-time.
Side hustle.
I'm sorry?
Side hustle.
Side hustle.
Yes, a side hustle. Good terms.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And so based on that, I'm at this SGI, the insurance company. And one day somebody said to me, if you don't take that company full time by the time you're 40, you never will. And I went, "Excuse me, like, I'm intelligent. I know what I want out of life. And I'm going through all these things and being quite insulted." And I went home that night and went, "They're right." And the next day I walked in and handed in my resignation and said, "I'll be out of here in 2 weeks," because my 40th birthday was in 2 weeks. And so I've been doing this full time, loving every minute of it, and being able to help people walk through their challenges to get where they want to get to. So working with business leaders, working with individuals so that they can see their own strengths, because that's the biggest problem, is we don't see our own strengths. So this element about, leaving the rat race, you bet. What we don't recognize always is it creates a different rat race for us.
Yeah.
It's still a rat race. You got to get clients. You got to make sure you can still eat. You got to keep up to date with things, because if you don't keep up to date, you're left in the dust. And so that's a long way, Regina, to answer.
So I want to ask you, though, to clarify, what's the difference between the old rat race and the new rat race? Why would you choose the new rat race over the old one?
Good question. Really good question. The old rat race has a lot of people telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And leaving it, now the challenge becomes, I'm the one that decides who does what, how I do it, when I do it, etc. So we have to be so well organized to be able to carry on our business so that it doesn't overtake our life. And I have to tell you, lately, the last few years, because I'm transitioning from the kind of work that I did with corporate to the kind of work that I'm doing with individual business owners, small business, etc. I've been overworking. And I made a commitment this past weekend when I was at a retreat that's stopping. I quit work at 5 o'clock. I am not picking up my work after 5. And that was like, oh, can I do this?
I stopped at 6. Yeah.
I have to make the decision, though. I have to organize myself enough because I'm burnt out, and I've recognized that, but I didn't choose to do anything about it until it hit me in the face at this retreat. Like, oh yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah.
So it's that aspect about, You're just exchanging one rat race for another, but the other is the rat race of your choosing. And
You're in control.
And I find I work harder for me than I do for anyone else.
we do work hard. Part of what we have to watch though, Barb, is when we work so hard, like we start to burn out. And I've burnt out to the point of severe exhaustion. I remember laying in this beautiful room, beautiful beige colored wallpaper with little blue and white flowers on it. It was gorgeous. And one wall was all brick. It was white brick. And I wake up and I'm looking out the window thinking, okay, well, what city am I in? And I'm going through, am I in Helsinki, or am I in Montreal, or Vancouver, or am I over in Milan? Like, where am I? And I could not figure it out. I'm laying there. So then I go, okay, if I can't think of what city I'm in, what company am I here to work with? And so I went through that. It took about 5 minutes of looking around and trying to get it. And I realized I was in my own bed, in my own bedroom, in my own house.
Wow.
That scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
So you really have to be cautious, because this is the third time that I've recognized that I'm so close to burnout that if I don't make some changes, it's going to be really tough again.
Yeah.
And so
Got to take care of you. And Brenda's a great one to champion
Yeah.
that cause.
You
Take
bet.
care of you.
You're amazing at that, Brenda. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, you see, you're going to be my case study for the very last workshop that we're going to have on
Can't hear you.
next week.
Your voice is going out, Brenda.
Can you hear me now?
Not well.
Can you hear me now?
There
Yes.
we go.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 Okay, so I need to lean into.
Yeah.
I don't mean to attack you, so it's just so that you can, well, because I'm leaning into. So what I was saying was, Sherry, that Nearly said I welcomed what you were saying about burnout, but that doesn't sound very supportive. What I mean is that it really crystallizes why self-care is pivotal, is absolutely, paramount to everything we do as entrepreneurs, because success isn't about what we acquire, isn't about the 7 figures, the 6 figures, the material things, the bigger house, the bigger car, and all of that. If actually, as you say, you're lying in your bed and you don't even recognize where you are. So what is the point of this success then? So, I don't know if you picked up the title of my workshop. Your health is your wealth. Is really going to be looking at that, which there are the scales. Which one are you prioritizing as the most important of the two?
You
And
have
what
to
are the implications? Because there are consequences, aren't they?
There's
And it's about balance, isn't it? And we know in the work that we all do that it's all about balance. And once there's an imbalance, it means that other areas of your life, it impacts other areas of your life, and sometimes possibly all the other areas of your life. And sometimes it actually takes us maybe longer than it should do for us actually to realize what has been going on. And then by the time, as you say, Sherry, you're kind of thinking, I am actually at the last chance saloon. If I don't take action now, if I don't pull back now, I am actually going to be needing other people to look after me. So then, what was the point of me setting out? Because we all set out as entrepreneurs to contribute, to make a contribution, and to be able to make a contribution, your well-being has to be top dollar.
Yeah,
very much.
I think both of your workshops are so powerful in this area. And it reminds me of an expression that I've heard before, of that you go from working for someone else to working for you go from working 40 hours a week for someone else to working 80 hours a week for a crazy person. And the
Yeah.
crazy person is you.
Use yourself.
Good point. Very
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
And so we have to learn how not to be that crazy person. So,
Yes. Yes.
so Sherry,
Yeah.
you've been doing your own business for some time now.
Mhm.
And who is it that you serve now in your business? Who's your primary ideal client?
Good question. I look for working with entrepreneurs, people who want to get into business or have been in business for a couple of years. And those individuals who they're getting ahead, but they're not getting ahead as easily simply because they don't have the foundation built. And that's the critical part, is build that foundation. So when
Yeah.
you've got the foundation, then you
Yeah.
can make an adjustment. And let's face it, little companies turn on a dime. The big corporations that I worked with in the past, they were humongous in terms of the
Yeah.
length of time that it would take them to do something. Even as an entrepreneur going in and still working with big business,
Oh,
like it would take them 3 or 4 months to decide whether or not we were going to do executive coaching or whether we were
Yeah.
going to run any programs from a training perspective. Whereas when somebody comes to a small business, it's yes, I can do it today, or I can do it tomorrow, or maybe next week.
Yeah.
But we have the opportunity to make those decisions because we're small and because
Right.
the number of staff that we have isn't horrendous. You know,
Yeah.
most of the companies that I work with are maybe 2 or 3 people. Some of them have as many as 20 people, but they're not huge companies
Mm.
like I've
Mm.
worked with in the past. So it makes a big
Right.
difference for them to be able to get moving and moving quickly because they lay the foundation. That's
Right.
the key part.
Right.
And you're so right, Sherry, because I think actually it's about being able to move fast on the things that they actually know that it's going to benefit the people in the company. But also, I think the flip side of the coin is equally important. Being able to say, this is not for us, so
Mhm.
that you're clear, rather than wasting time and 3-4 months later down the line, you've been trying to work on getting them to work with you, only for them to turn around and say, well, actually, no. And you think,
Yeah.
why didn't you tell me that 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would have saved
everybody's
you a
energy,
lot.
time absolutely saves you a lot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to know, Sherry, what made you decide to join us on this event? Regina
Oh,
and I,
easy,
what made
because
you?
it's you and Regina.
So we could have been sending a tin of beans. You would have joined us.
Oh dear, I love you both. And because of that, it's just, what can I do to help? How can I help your listeners to make those decisions about being their own person and being that individual that wants to work for themselves? Because let's face it, when you work for yourself, everything that goes wrong comes back to me,
Yeah.
but everything that goes right also comes back to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's
Buck
those
stops here, good or bad.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are responsible for us. It's not somebody else leaning over and saying, I wonder how long it'd take
Yeah.
to get rid of you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And what I found out in the end in that situation was one of his friends in the other city had to close his promotion agency.
And he wanted to hire
I don't
him.
know what had happened, but he had
Ah.
lost all his business, and the CEO, the president, wanted this job for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just sit down and tell me that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it
Exactly.
was
Well, yeah,
it didn't work that way.
it didn't work that
Exactly.
way. Yeah.
Crazy times.
But Brenda, what I want to say here in terms
Yes.
of this, you're putting this program on you and Regina for individuals, primarily women, who want to leave the corporate rat race. And it's scary.
Yes.
Scary to leave.
Yes.
I guess I have a belief that everything will eventually be okay. Sometimes it's not okay in the short term, but
Yeah.
eventually it will all be okay. And
Yeah.
so that's allowed me to make some of those jumps like bang, done.
Yes. Yes. How
Whereas
am I going to
in-
land? How am I going to
Yeah.
land? If I jump, where am I landing? How am I going to land? That fear, it is scary. It is scary.
It
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
if people can have enough faith in themselves
Yes.
and trust in the higher power, whether that's
Yeah.
God or whether it's the universe, I don't care, but
Yeah.
trust in that higher power to
Yeah.
be able to carry you through and get you where you want to
Yeah.
get to, which is totally different than where you need to get to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are some things that I think are
Yeah.
really critical here for your audience. They
Yeah.
need to understand that they have that strength, they have that power. They
Yeah.
can do these things if they have the faith and they trust.
Absolutely. You're selling not only the event for us, you're also actually really, really promoting one of my workshops, which is about how to quit your job. It's exactly about addressing, and enabling people who are either on the verge, and some as you will know, you will appreciate, will have been on that verge for years. Some is just months, but some it's been years. Or I'm miserable here. Oh, I need to leave. And well, how many times are you going to be saying that yourself? So it's scary. But then life is scary, and as you say,
Can be.
it's about trust, isn't it? It's about trust in the higher power, the
And in
superpower.
yourself, trust in yourself
Indeed,
as well.
indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Absolutely.
But I think, Regina, we can say, and in yourself, I think for people who've actually done a lot of self-development, we come to appreciate that. We're comfortable with that, to actually say, and trust in yourself. I remember when I hadn't done so much work on myself, the last thing I felt able to do was to trust myself. I
Gotcha.
was much more, and I put my trust in God because I'm a Christian, but as Sherry says, you call it whatever you call it, the universe, whatever. But, that actually saw me through the sticky, times, the sticky, paths when I wasn't so full of confidence, when I didn't.
We lost you.
Yeah, your sound went away again,
My
Brenda.
sound. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
there you go.
sorry.
Yeah.
Am I back now? I was
Yes.
talking about resilience and saying what before I done a lot of work on my resilience.
On your resilience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true. We're all at different phases of it. So you trust in that higher power always. And, again, we've covered that, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
But you work on getting to that place where you can trust in yourself as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Sherry.
ultimately that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sherry, can you, without giving away all the goods, can you share some nuggets about what you're going to be teaching in this workshop?
In the mindset workshop that's coming up. Wonderful. Thank you for asking. This is going to be an element to understand some of the ways the brain works, but also that element in terms of what are the steps that we can put into place so that we can have the mindset that works. And please understand, because the brain is so powerful, and yet the brain gives us approximately 90 to 95% of our thoughts are negative, right?
Yeah.
I'm too fat, I'm too short, I'm too old, I'm too young,
Yes,
I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too the other thing.
Yes.
And the reality is that may be true, but it doesn't matter. Those thoughts go into our head, and we have to be conscious about changing those thoughts to something that is more positive, because the brain sets up patterns. And those patterns of the negative, because they're so prevalent in our human nature, those negative patterns are the most common. So we have to work hard to switch them over so that the pathway becomes the positive one. And we keep finding the benefits. We keep finding that silver lining in whatever we do. And I know my mother was often a negative individual. She'd had a really hard life. And, you know, I don't know about the other people who are listening here, but I was growing up thinking, my mother, oh, yuck. And there were times, of course, when she was wonderful, but these
Right.
negative times stayed in my mind, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And as an adult, I would, you know, listen to the complaints, etc. And I'd always be going, well, Mom, you know, the good part about this is, and then we'd go through the good part. And one day I'm complaining myself about something. And my mother said to me, well, you know, Sherry, the good thing about that is, and I
I
went,
love it.
bingo. I did. Number one, I deserved it. Number two, she'd heard, right?
She heard.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
That's
yes.
awesome. That's
Oh, that
awesome.
is amazing.
It
Oh,
is.
thank you. Thank you for making me laugh so much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's great. So
But
Sherry,
it-
that's a workshop that you have coming up, right?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
It's called Master Your Unstoppable Mindset, because
Awesome.
your mindset is unstoppable. It's your choice as to how you want to master it. Do
Right,
you want it
right.
to be
Yes.
positive and
Yes.
keeping you looking for the good things that are happening, or do you
Yeah.
choose to stay with that 90 to 95% of our
Awesome.
brain power?
Awesome. That's awesome. And so I'd like to switch gears for a second, though,
You
and
bet.
have you share with us what you're going to teach also in the workshop here as part of this event. What is your class on time management and in and on your business kind of a thing? Can you share a little bit about that without giving away all the goods?
Fair enough. The big thing about time management, and I use the words unstoppable simply because that's my book, and I know we have to be unstoppable because things come in and cut us off at the knees, and we need to pick ourselves up and keep going. And that aspect about time management, it's critical. And
Yeah.
you know, I'd love to tell you that every day I follow my own advice. Not. No, I
What?
don't.
Oh my goodness. She's
Hang my
just like
head in
me.
shame. It becomes
It's a
tiring.
challenge.
It becomes a challenge to do these things. But when we know what to do and we know how to organize ourselves and our mindset, when we look at those two things, that's what makes the biggest difference. How
Yeah.
can we get where we want to get to without burning out, without giving up the other parts of our lives, the hobbies that we have, the family that we want to spend time with, the community groups that we want to be part of? What can we do to build those into our calendar so that we have that time, we can
That's awesome.
enjoy it and still accomplish what we want as a business, as a life,
Very
whatever that
good.
happens to be.
Very
Oh,
that's really amazing. I love the way that you talk about how someone can become unstoppable. I just like the way you conceptualize it. I think it makes it sound easy, but actually we all know that it's not that easy. But it can become easy if you apply yourself and are disciplined. Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing that up, Brenda, because as I do more and more research, just as life goes on and new information becomes available, etc., one of the things that I think is so critical for us is to recognize that we used to talk about it taking about 30 different times of doing something for it to become a habit. You got on your bike when you were a little kid and you fell and you skinned your knee, and mom and dad or mom or dad helped us. Well, that's fair. But today we recognize that for it to be truly comfortable, it's taking us between 60 and 90 times of doing something before it becomes a habit. Now that's tough, because the older we get, the more different things are happening to us. I mean, when I was a little kid, all I worried about was, do I have a warm bed at night? Yes. Do I have food in my tummy? Yes. And riding this bike, that's really cool. But as an adult, it's, am I looking after everybody else?
Yes.
Is my business moving forward?
Right.
The grass needs to be cut. Who's going to look after that? There's a million things that as we're older that go through our heads that we have to contend with. And so that idea of being unstoppable, I mean, that's up to us.
Mhm.
Somebody
Yeah.
can throw down the wrench and make it difficult for us.
Yeah.
But we have to trust up here
Yeah. Yeah.
and trust in
Yeah.
the higher power to know that,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, this is a problem. It's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And it too shall pass.
Yeah.
We can
It
get
too,
back on the
it too
path.
shall pass. Absolutely.
I like
Good.
that.
It too shall pass.
It's going to be a great class. I am absolutely
Yeah,
certain of
I'm
that.
looking forward to it. I
Yes.
am really so excited. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things that Sherry's going to cover as well in there is this difference between working on your business and working
And
in your
working-
business as a
yeah.
function of that time management. And Sherry, I love how you do your word unstoppable. Could you talk about that, about the able part in that? How
I'd love to tell you that it was my brilliant idea, but it wasn't. It was the people that I was working with to develop the book cover, but it's,
right?
UNSTOPP, unstop, but the ABLE is in a different color
Uh-huh.
and in a capital letters, because we are able
Yes.
to get away from being unstoppable. But again, it's
Yeah.
mindset.
Yes.
How do we go about
Yes.
managing, about coping, about getting
Yes.
the kinds of skills that we need to get so that we can move forward? Because I'm sorry, there are things, I mean, one of my clients just this past weekend, we're talking today, it's what, Tuesday? No, today's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
On Friday night, he lost his best friend.
Oh.
On Monday morning, his aunt died.
Oh.
Like, you take, those are heavy, heavy, heavy.
Yes.
And so my job right now with him, although we're working on business, my job right now is to just hold the space for
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be able to walk through that
Yeah.
devastating element with two people passing
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
I mean, bad
Yeah.
enough when it's one, but
Right.
two passing away. So it's just being able to love yourself is what part of
Yes.
it comes down
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. And to accept
Absolutely.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Oh, well. Yeah.
So Sherry, I have at least one more question. I don't know if Brenda has more for you, but I have one. And I have to set the stage for this question a little bit by
Okay.
talking about the event some.
You like
And-
it.
So, we've made this event free. Folks like yourself have donated their time to teach these workshops, and we're so grateful for that.
So great.
All of our teachers have donated their time. And the event is free for folks, but we know that brains are going to be saturated before they get everything done. And even though we've created space in the event for them to work on their program, their business plan, their business model based on everything that they're learning, we know that having access to this information after the event is going to be really critical for them moving forward so that they can go back and review when they're ready to incorporate something that they haven't been able to fully incorporate yet. So one of the things we've done is made an upsell for them to be able to get the recordings of the event. And that goes along with a session with Brenda and I, a half-day group coaching session, a VIP session that they can get in on, in addition to getting the recordings.
Yeah.
Then our second level of upsell is that even though everybody is working on their plan and by the end of Friday should have a basic plan laid out for their business, we've created a contest that they can enter their plan in. And we've gathered a panel of 5 judges. I'll have Brenda tell you about the judges in a second here, but we've gathered a panel of 5 judges to review the top entries. And those entries will be in writing and with short videos, like a 2 or 3 minute video telling about it. And so Brenda and I will be going through all of those entries and ticking the boxes, that they do everything we've asked them to do, and then submitting our top 5 to 10 proposals to the judges.
Don't worry, we're going to have a checklist. It's not
Absolutely. It will
it's
be
not
very
entirely
structured.
subjective.
It is not. Yeah, it will be
Highly structured.
structured. Yes. So we'll have a list. You'll know what's on that list, what we expect of you. And then we'll be measuring that. And we'll present those top 5 to 10 proposals to the judging panel, this 5-member judging panel, who will then choose a winner. And by the way, our prize package currently on that is up to $38,924 in value in the price
Wow.
for that.
Yeah, just amazing.
But even more valuable than that, than this almost $40,000 package is, and that's growing still, by the way, people are still donating to that. Even more valuable than that, though, I believe, is the review by these judges and the input on your plan from these 5 renowned people. And like I said, Brenda's going to tell you about our chief judge here in a moment. But before she does that, I'm going to ask the question, and then she can tell you about the judge, and then I want you to answer the question. Okay. So the question is, with all of that and that opportunity to get in front of 5 renowned judges with your plan and get feedback on it, what I want you to be thinking about is, what value would you place on that? So Brenda, will you explain about the judges?
Yeah. Let me buy you some time, Sherry, while you process this challenging question. So we, as Regina touched on, the panel of judges, 4 of them in their own right, they are such eminent entrepreneurs. They're all millionaires. Most of them, I think they're multimillionaires, but that's not the only kind of, that's not what sets them apart from everybody else. It's just that they are at the top of their game. How? And on top of that, our head judge, I mean, we're just so excited about all of our judges, but particularly our head judge. And actually, you may know of this person. I don't know. Simply because he's based in Canada. He's known as the modern day Napoleon Hill. That's his nickname. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's a successful filmmaker. One of his films actually is the follow-up to The Secret. It's actually called How Thoughts Become Things. So we manifest what we think. Well, you know this, Sherry, but I'm talking to our audience, so to speak. And also, there's something else that I wanted to say. So he's an author, best-selling author. There's a whole range of things, but he is just an amazing human being, absolutely amazing. His name is Doug Vermeeren. Do you know of him?
Vermeeren.
Vermeeren.
Yeah, Vermeeren.
Vermeeren.
F-E-H?
V-E-R-M-E.
V-E-R-M-E-E-R-E-N.
Yeah.
Vermeeren. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so he's an amazing person, and he's giving of his time. And actually, we thought just being head judge was just amazing. But in fact, he's he offered to be our keynote speaker to open the whole event. So he's going to give the talk at the beginning, which is just, awesome. This is someone who charges thousands per hour, per day, and he's just giving us of that time. And so, as Regina says, you imagine the kind of feedback from somebody of how many years he's been crafting his skills, his expertise, and then the other 4 doing the same. I mean, to have that come to bear on the different business plans, to actually look them over. I mean, I would have just liked feedback just from any one of them. Can you imagine? But actually all 5 of them. So that's the question, as Regina puts it to you.
What would be the value?
What value would you put to that, on that?
Well, just the whole aspect of building a business plan itself, I mean, that's an expensive item. And so when you look at getting that feedback from 4 top-notch people, I would say it's probably worth in the vicinity of $20,000 to $25,000.
But remember, it's 5, not just 4. We mustn't forget the 5.
26 workshops, 5 judges.
Judge,
and their feedback. Yeah, absolutely. Astounding value to that. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Sherry.
Yeah. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can't wait to hear more from you in your workshop. I just think your workshop is going to be so amazing, and people will get so much value from that, so much benefit. So thank you for your generosity in offering your expertise and your time.
Glad to be here and glad to help anybody who's in a similar situation. I mean, we're all there at one time or other, deciding where does our life want and need to go,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how are we going to
Yeah.
get there? You bet.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, folks. And we're excited to have Sherry partake in this and be one of the instructors, because I know you'll come away with a lot. She's been through what she knows you're going to go through if you don't set yourself up properly. And, her class coupled with Brenda's class on, give me the title exactly again, Brenda. It's
Your health is your wealth.
Your
or how
Health
to
is your
quit-
wealth. That one.
or how
Your
to
health
quit
is your
your
wealth.
job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your health
your
is your
health.
wealth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your health
That-
is your wealth.
Combining those two and that time management,
Yeah.
so that you have both health and wealth
Yeah.
is going to be
Looking
phenomenally
forward to
important.
our class.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, Sherry. We really appreciate you being here.
You're most
and-
welcome.
Sherry, I'm thinking at some other time, let's do a combo. Let's you and I joint teach a workshop on, in fact, either one or both of them, because how to quit your job, the things you were talking about how scary it is and so on, I think would make an awesome twosome.
Yeah,
Awesome
great idea.
twosome. Woo!
Awesome twosome. I love it.
Awesome twosome. Woo! I surprised myself there.
Be glad to. Be glad to.
Excellent. I'll
Sherry,
hold you to that.
yeah,
know me,
there you go.
I'll hold you to that.
Sherry, any other thoughts or comments that you have that you'd like to share with us? Anything we didn't cover?
The only thing, and it's perhaps a bit of a reiteration, that element about the fear, the scariness, etc. Understand that when the man in your life or the woman in your life asked you to marry them, like, it was that feeling of, oh my God,
Yeah.
what's going to happen here? And it was scary.
Yeah.
Even though you
Yeah.
possibly said yes. I'm
Yes.
assuming that you did.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yeah.
everything in life has those moments of scariness,
Mm,
and it's
Mm.
okay. So you walk through it and you carry on.
yeah.
And if by chance you find that this isn't the right move, well, then you can go do something else.
Yeah.
It's not that life is going to end just because
Yeah.
I made a change in my decision. That's
Yeah,
that's an
it's not the
opportunity.
end of the world. It's not the end
Right.
of the world.
It's
Yeah.
not.
You survived all of those, didn't you, Sherry?
You
And you were
bet.
better for it, right?
Each time.
Yeah. And live to tell the tale.
And
Here
live
you
to tell
are.
the tale.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I really
we're
appreciate it.
Oh,
happy to have you
it's
here,
our-
and
It's
we
our pleasure. It's our
and-
pleasure.
and we encourage you to stay if you can. I know you've got a busy schedule, but we'd love to have you stay as long as you can.
I appreciate it.
And awesome.
Great.
Brenda, one of the things I'd like to do is, since
Yes.
we've spent some time sharing about our head judge,
Yes.
Doug Vermeeren, is we have
Yeah.
a little video that he made
Oh, yes,
regarding
yes,
this
we
event.
do. Yeah,
I'd
we
love
do.
to play that video.
Yeah. Great
Okay.
idea. Yeah.
Okay,
Great
so
idea.
let me change my sound system, because I don't think anybody else will hear the video if
We
I have
can
it on my
agree.
headset.
Sometimes we have some interesting discussions, but we do agree.
We do
a lot of the
indeed.
time.
We have.
And we laugh a lot. As you know, Sherry, we can't stop laughing, me and Regina. We crackle away. Yeah. Are you okay? Can you find it, or do you?
Me now. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, can hear now. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to take this off because we're coming through the computer now. And
Okay.
we'll get Doug's video up here. I will share screen. And by the way, Barb Ellison has joined us. Welcome, Barb. We see you're not on screen, or
Good morning. How are you
Camera's not on.
doing?
but we're glad you're here.
Yeah, no, my eyes are having a relapse today.
Oh,
so
dear.
I'm not putting anything on them so I don't look
Gotcha.
so good. So
Bless
I'm
your
being,
heart.
I'm being vain.
Can y'all see my screen? Can you see?
Yes.
Doug? All right. So let's hear what he has to say. It's very short.
Hi, my name is Dodd Vermeeren, and I'm known as the modern-day Napoleon Hill for my interviews with more than 400 of the world's top business leaders. The pandemic's been tough for a lot of people. Perhaps you're looking for a new side hustle, maybe even to start a new business or something that will at least supplement or replace your income entirely, I'd like to tell you there's an event coming up called Escape the Corporate Rat Race. And in this event, you're going to get the opportunity to learn from experts in their field on all aspects of business and growing your business. There's 26 experts that they've assembled who are ready to help you. So I'd like to invite you to attend this event. You can click the link below. I'm going to also be attending, and there's more than $20,000 worth of prizes and all kinds of other things to help you grow your business. So if now is your time and you're ready to take your side hustle or your business to the next level, be sure to click the link and we'll see you there.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yes. So we and you can see our prizes have grown since he made that video. We're now double that prizes and continuing to grow. So we're excited about that prize package as well, and all the things that are in there. And there's so many wonderful things in there.
I think I'm going to have to enter the contest just so I can get all those
Yeah, I think
prizes
so,
or
Barb.
have a chance to get them.
I'm not sure
no.
that you can't.
What?
Why not? We can talk about it. What was I going to say? Oh, and what I wanted to share, Regina, is that Doug, actually, he is today or tomorrow, he is promoting the event to PSG, his top level group, personal,
Very good.
PSG, personal success group. And it's
Okay.
got the kind of people in there, his level of people: John Assaraf, Jack Cranfield, Bob Proctor, to name but a few. So it's that kind of person. We were talking yesterday, and he was saying, anything else you can do? And I said, well, PSG. Bye, Sherry.
Bye, Sherry.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yes, so he's promoting to PSG.
Awesome.
Today or
So that
tomorrow.
means they may be promoting it to their audiences.
That is exactly what I asked for. I said, could that cascade? And he said, absolutely. I'll talk to them, and we'll.
Very good. Very
What's
good. We just want to
PSG?
help as many people as we can.
Personal success group, Barbara.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
We
welcome.
want to help as many people as we can.
Of course we do. That is the whole point of the last 9 months is let's reach. Yeah, well, that's another thing that I think we need to highlight to people, that our speakers, our judges are actually international. We are not just in one country. We are all over. So I think that's important
Right.
for people to understand, just in case we've got people who are different countries who are then thinking, oh, this is just for whatever country we think
Yeah.
we're representing. It's not.
That is a really
Actually
good point.
international.
Really good point. Yes.
Thank
Because we haven't really talked about that.
No, and we should really, because I know only too well. I know that when I talk to some of my clients, they will say, oh, I saw such and such, I saw a webinar, or I saw whatever it was, and they said, oh, but I didn't sign up. And I'd say, why not? And they'd say, oh, but it looked like it was just for Americans. It looked like it was
Yeah.
just for Finland. It looked like whatever country in Europe. It looked like it was just for UK. And I'd say, well, what made you think that it was actually stated that apply only if you're American? And they said no. And I said, well, therefore it's international.
Right.
So yeah, so I think we do need to underline that and emphasize, underline,
Good point.
highlight, I mean.
I am looking for the
What are
excuse
you
me,
looking
just
for,
one
my
second.
dear?
I'm looking for Lisa's interview here so I can get that ready to
Okay.
play. Trying to figure out where I put it.
Sure. What would you like Barbara and I to be doing while you're searching?
Keep people chatting.
Okay, Barbara, what can we chat about, you and I? You haven't spoken very much today. Can we have more words of wisdom from you, please, Barbara?
Well, thank you, dear. Yeah, on the spot.
We
Sorry,
love putting people on the spot.
we are skilled at that. We are
Life
very
is all
skilled
about
at
that, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this event, and every one that we're interviewing here, I just I'm like, okay, I have to see their workshop.
Yeah.
Can't miss it.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to learn so much.
We are all going to learn so
Yeah.
much. But Barbara, I think what might be useful for people, because not everybody has been with us the last couple of days. Say a few words, please, about your workshop, the avatar and so on.
Yeah.
First of all, define what is an avatar, or well, rather, don't say as much as you wish without giving away everything. But I think it's important for people to know what golden nuggets you are actually going to be sharing, because I think your workshop is going to be one of the fundamentals in terms of foundation people to really understand, because it's like a house, isn't it? Unless you got the basics, the foundation right, your
Right.
house, it's not point having glossy walls or fantastic roof and all of the fantastic windows, if the foundation is not there, is it?
Exactly. You're so right. So, we think about foundation, that, our vision and our mission for the business and naming it, and, how we're going to hire people to help us run our business and all of that. But I think sometimes we forget to focus on who we're serving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Good point.
Yeah,
in how
very good point.
to attract those who will not only want what we have, but will be willing to do what they need to do to get what we have. It's that important. There are things in your life that that whatever you need to do to get it, that's what you do. And I think in your business, this particular aspect is one of those things. And that is really honing in on what we call the avatar, the personification of your ideal client, right?
I like that personification. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice word, but actually it's a very good concept. I love that, Barbara. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you. So we're going to be in the workshop, we're going to be drilling down into demographics of your ideal client, psychographics, what their hot buttons are, their wants, their fears, their frustrations. These are all things that you need to know so that you can actually serve the greatest number of clients, not just the greatest number, but to really serve. I can't think of how to say this. Definitely we want to serve the greatest number, but we want to serve the greatest number of those who really need what we have.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We want to serve. And if you're just doing a shotgun approach and saying, hey, everybody, here's what I have, who wants it? we're really not serving. Right.
Good point.
Yeah.
And Barb, in terms of, there's some terms that you were talking about there that some folks may not be familiar with yet. You'll explain all of that in the class, right? They'll walk away understanding all of that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. All will be revealed at the workshop.
I like that. All will be revealed. Yeah. So don't freak out about those terms because you don't know them.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
you don't know them at this point, and we're happy to.
It's a teaser for you. You got to come
there
to
you
find
go.
out what that is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Awesome. Let's just run through real quick before we look at Lisa's video. Let's run through the agenda again real quick, the schedule, and just share with folks what the classes are, because they may not have seen some of our other sessions.
Yeah, sure.
So let's just talk about that. So remember, we said our first day is all about mindset. And so we've got a class on self-image. Who do you think you are? How are you going to brand yourself? And that's being taught by Sheena Kantar. I said that correctly.
Shinakanta.
Kantar.
Shinakanta.
I can't say it with your accent.
Shinakanta. Not
Kanta.
Kanta. Shinakanta.
Kantar. It's spelled Cantar, folks. Then we have a class with Brenda and James Sanderson, with Brenda, who's right here in front of you, Brenda Nabelli, and James Sanderson. And they're going to teach a class on how to create the freedom to live the life you desire. I love that. That's going to be powerful. Can't wait to see that.
Super.
We then have a breakout
Thank
session
you.
where you're going to get to network with other participants and the speakers and so forth. So we'll have a breakout session. And then Lisa Dodd, who we're going to hear from next, will be our next speaker. And she's going to talk about your soul language and the growth potential hiding inside of your comfort zone. And as I told her in the interview, that line really intrigues me. I am so excited to hear what she's going to teach there.
Yeah. She's an amazing woman.
Yes,
Such an
I
amazing
really
woman.
liked her. I really
Yeah.
liked her when I got to do the
Yeah.
interview with her.
Yeah.
Then earlier this week on Monday, we interviewed Emily Schul, and Emily is a coach who helps you with your relationship with money. And that
Money.
is her topic, your relationship with money, the psychological impacts of money in your life and the emotional impacts, not the dollars and cents piece of money, but the pounds and halfpennies. Is that right? Is there still a halfpenny?
No.
No. There's a song we used to sing as children about with a halfpenny in it.
I think that's going back a little, a few decades, Regina.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I don't live in London, obviously. Then we're going to have another breakout session. And then you get to work on your plan. You get to take that knowledge that you've gotten that day and start to incorporate that into how does this come into play into the business that you want to create. And then we'll kind of wrap up that day. On day 2.
Here's a question.
Yes, absolutely.
When they're in this session for applying what they've learned, are the speakers going to be there available to answer questions?
Whoever can be there that's a speaker, we want them there. Brenda and I will be answering questions. We encourage all the speakers to participate in those so that they can answer questions as well.
Cool.
Because, yes, we want to be able to provide answers while they're working on it. Yeah. The next day on Wednesday, day 2, we're going to start in on building your foundation for your business. And our first speaker is going to be James Lamb, and he's going to be presenter, workshop director, whatever we want to call these folks. Because these are not someone standing up there and telling you all about it. They're helping you understand and helping you implement.
Workshop facilitators, Regina.
Workshop facilitator. Thank you, ma'am. I've struggled with that this whole time. So his is on combining your superpower with your purpose and passion and helping you to identify what it is that's your superpower and what it is that you're really passionate about. Because when you make all of that congruent, it makes building a business so much easier and so much more profitable. You met Bob Reish this morning. His class will be next on identifying your vision and your mission and the name of your business. Then we'll have another breakout session. Then Miss Brenda will be teaching on how to prepare to quit your job. I think that's an invaluable course to have in there, workshop to have in there, how to prepare to quit your job.
Yeah.
And then Barb Sayers, who's here with us this morning, she'll be teaching about your ideal client, as she just mentioned to you, and figuring out what that customer avatar is. Then we'll have another breakout session. And then Mitchell Levy, who is the credibility expert, and he actually received a title on LinkedIn, something to do with that, with his being the credibility expert. He's going to talk about what is your CPOP, your customer point of pain. Cherry Ann Carew, who works with a lot of small business owners, is going to be teaching you how to nail your profitable offer. That's so important. And then I'll get the opportunity to teach you a class on what it is that you bring to the table that no one else does, how you stand out in the market, because that is critically important to effective marketing. And we're going to talk a lot about marketing throughout the 4 days. Then you get the opportunity to work on your business again. again with us right there, holding your hand, answering questions. And then we have a final breakout session for that day, and we'll wrap it up with a Q&A with Brenda and I. We start the next day, day 3 now, with again, Brenda and I greeting you, welcoming you, bringing you back in. Sherry that you just met, she will teach her time management, working on your business instead of in your business class. Then James Lamb and I will come back together and we'll teach about understanding strategies and tactics and how you will generate leads and revenue. And we really want you to understand the difference between strategies and tactics. It's very important in your business. Then we have a little bio break. We haven't built those in every day, but we do have them in a couple of days. Then we have a presentation on the basics of social media promotions and digital marketing. And Miss Pearl Cox from the UK is teaching that. And Pearl has a wealth of experience and wisdom in this area. Then Emma Dunlop Walters is going to be teaching you marketing on a budget. We got to hear from her on Monday. So if you go back and listen to Monday's episode of this, you will hear Emma's presentation. Mary Nunley that we spoke to yesterday is going to do her workshop on virtual billboards or lead magnets. Then we have your working on your plan session again. And then I will teach a class on creating and accelerating profit, because revenue is not the end result that you want, profit is. And so we'll talk about that. Then we have another breakout session and we'll wrap it up for the day. Coming in on day 4, again, we'll welcome you all back. Brenda and I will have an opportunity to answer some questions for you. James and I will come back together again, James Lamb, and we're going to teach you, we're going to talk about what is your overall marketing strategy and what tactics will you use? Because on day 3, you've learned a lot about strategy and tactics and various marketing tactics and strategies. So now we want to help you take that information and coalesce it down into an actionable strategy for your business. Then we have James Tracy, who is a sales expert, and you'll love Jason. Did I say James? I meant Jason. What is your sales strategy and tactics? How will you market your product or service that you've identified? Then I'll be coming in after that with what is your strategy for adding personnel, for qualifying them, for managing them? How do you know when it's time to add people to your organization and whether or not you should be hiring somebody or going for contract labor or both? And then Michael Mann, a financial advisor, is going to come in and talk about managing your finances and your taxes to create a positive financial future. That's going to be a great class, I'm sure. Very important.
Yeah.
And again, you get to work on your business plan, and then we'll have a breakout and we'll wrap up for the day. Then we come back on Saturday for just a couple of hours. Now, after we welcome everybody in and we kind of debrief on the summit a bit, Brenda's going to teach a workshop on your health is your wealth. We've been talking about that every day. It's so important that we're going to have that class on Saturday. Your health is your wealth. And then we'll do, again, we've got this debrief. We'll announce the winner of the contest. Yay. And who knows what that prize value will be by then. My goal is that it's up over $50,000, but we're right knocking on the door of 40,000 right now. And then as many of the speakers as we can get back on that day, we want to do a speakers panel where we talk a bit about entrepreneurial landmines, things that you need to look out for, and do a Q&A with the whole panel of speakers, as many of those as we can get back in that day. So that's our wind up, folks, for the week. I mean, it is going to be power packed with all of these folks. And I can't tell you again, Brenda and I are so grateful for the fact that these folks have donated their time to teach you this, to come in and bring you this value, and to not just come in once, but to come back again and network with you, to be on the panels, to do different things, to be there to help you grow your business. It is an amazing opportunity for you. Absolutely. And I hope that you are seeing that. So Barb Ellison, any thoughts or comments? And Barb has her hand up. I see that. I was looking at at the list, Barb, and hadn't seen your hand up. So
no, you and I have just perfect timing.
Okay, good.
I had just put it up.
All righty.
Number one, I have to go. But
okay.
Yes, I'm so glad that you went through the rundown, because I am so excited about this event, and I think I'm going to be able to attend most of it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so which is really cool. And I'm so grateful that you put this together, because I am just right at that where I need all of these things, and it's going to be nice to have a step-by-step plan to
There
put
you
it
go.
into practice. So I'm
So-
really excited. I think it's going to be really cool.
So let me ask you a quick question, Barb. As a participant who's coming in, what do you see as the overall value here? If you could put could you put a
Oh,
price tag on
I-
it? What would be the value that you see here with all of this? And then if you're entering that contest as well and getting that feedback from judges, what do you see as the overall value?
I've been thinking about it, because the word that you mentioned and several other people have said was priceless, and I think it really is. And training is so important, because as an entrepreneur, so often, I mean, me, case in point, we come into business and have no clue. We just have a passion for what we're doing,
Yeah.
and we just want to go out there and do it, but we have
Right.
no clue of how to do the
Absolutely.
day-to-day, the foundation of,
Yeah.
and because you can't possibly know everything, but
Right.
this is just putting into place a great basic way.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Right. You have to start somewhere. And I really think that you have really put into place a really good overall strategy for us to get the basics, so that we
Yeah.
can move forward and be
Right.
ready for, because I think that's what happens to companies sometimes, is they don't have that foundation in place, and then
Yeah.
they have this explosive growth and they can't possibly handle it, and they crush
Yeah,
and
they
they
implode.
collapse. They
Absolutely.
implode on themselves.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
thank you. Yeah. So thank you so much. And I'm so glad that I was able to come in for this this hour. And so it was really,
Awesome.
and to hear the rundown of, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a cool event. So
Yeah, we're looking forward, as
Yeah.
instructors and hosts, we're looking forward to a lot of these, because there's going to be things that we've not heard before. And even though we may have been in
Exactly.
business for a number of years.
right, because
And so-
you can't know everything started, you can't
Exactly.
know it all. It's a process. And so this is just a great way to get some of the basics of the process.
Yeah. So you can see why we consider this our baby. And
Yes,
it's taken us
yes,
9 months
9
to
months.
birth this baby, this big baby,
Exactly. Big baby. Yeah. And
which we love.
I'm so glad to be part of it.
Yes,
So-
we're glad to have you as part of it.
So
And folks, Barb Ellison is not one of the presenters, but she believes in this so much that she's sharing it with her tribe and bringing people in to come to it as well. Others that she knows of that can
Yeah.
that
So-
can benefit from this, and we encourage you to do the same thing.
which I did send you a little note about sending me a link.
Okay, yeah, I will be doing that. Yeah, it's one of those. It's been a week of
Well-
those. You got 5 minutes here, maybe 7 minutes there.
Well,
Yeah,
why
it's coming.
why? Because Jason and I want to promote it on
Oh,
our show
good.
this afternoon.
So do you,
So-
okay, so when we hop off of here, what I need to know is, do you want the affiliate link? I can talk to you about that later. We'll
Right.
get that worked out. I think I know what to do for the affiliate link. Okay,
Right. So because Jason
Yeah.
was like, Jason, I'm not sure
And
how
that
you
way
want
it'd
to do
be
that.
easy.
That's why I wanted to re-mention it.
yeah.
But we
Excellent.
want to put that out on our show this afternoon.
Oh, we're
to
so
talk
glad.
about it.
Thank
So,
you so much. We
Yeah.
appreciate that so much. Awesome.
Okay. All right.
Brenda,
so we'll
any
see you
comments
later.
before Barb hops off? I know we lost your picture, but we still have your sound. So
She
Okay,
may have had
Debbie.
to step away.
yeah, she may
I'm
have had.
here. I'm
Oh,
back.
there you are.
Sorry, I'm back.
Is it any comments for Barb before she hops off? Barb Ellison?
I'm so sorry. I was not. I had to.
Okay,
I had to attend to something urgent.
no worries. No
Yeah, so
worries.
sorry.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Barbara,
But-
for
oh, you're-
your
hey.
contribution. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm looking
Thank you.
forward to the event.
I
So-
hope your eye or eyes
Yeah.
feel better soon.
Yes.
Today they're just a little,
Oh,
And
Gotta
I'm
take care of
like,
yourself, Barb.
Yeah,
just
please,
can't keep them
please do. Yeah,
I look
rest
like-
up.
So
Rest
thank
up.
you very much. All right. we'll
All
talk
righty.
soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Barb.
Bye.
Great lady.
Yes, she is.
She is indeed. Okay. Are we ready to hear from Miss Lisa Dodd?
Why
Oh,
not?
I'm still off camera. Sorry.
Yes, you are, my dear. There you are. It's a beautiful picture, but I'd rather see the beautiful face.
Pretty lady.
Well,
Say
I'm
thank
back.
you and accept the compliment.
Oh, yes, I beg your pardon. I can't. You know I have a problem with that. But yes, thank you.
Don't we all? That's why we have to set the example.
Yes, indeed. No, yeah, thank you for the compliment.
There you
I'm
go.
basking in it. I'm basking in it.
All righty. So I have Lisa's video all queued up here.
Excellent.
So shall I go ahead and begin that?
Yes, please.
Share screen. I can't even say that.
Too many S's.
Too many S's or something there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make this a little bigger so everybody can see it. And here we go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome, Lisa. I am so excited to get to meet you. Brenda's been talking about you for, well, this 9 months we've been working on this program. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We're delighted to have you be a part of this program. Brenda and I have been talking about the last few days, how we've literally been working on this for 9 months, and we feel like we're giving birth to this huge baby.
Perfect. We often say that about projects is you have to give birth to them. And so it's so funny that it's perfectly 9 months for you.
I know. So we've taken full advantage of that.
It's organically happening in perfect timing. That sounds
There
like.
you go. Absolutely. Well, Lisa, we are excited to have you as one of our presenter speakers teaching a workshop for this amazing conference, this business incubator. We're so excited about everything that's coming together here and the variety of tools that are going to be available to folks. But we want to find out about yours this morning. So let's learn a little bit about you first. Can you tell us briefly about your journey, what's brought you to this stage in your life?
Yeah, I could.
Will you?
I will. No, I will. I will tell you, and I'll try to give you the abbreviated version.
Okay.
The winding path that led me to where I'm at now is winding.
It's winding. Yeah.
Yeah, I started my first chapter of my career in corporate healthcare. I was in corporate healthcare for 15 years, sort of climbing the corporate ladder accidentally, if you will. I wanted to get into medical school, and when I didn't, I sort of landed this great job and just sort of followed the path. And I had all those things that everybody, is supposed to want. I had, the company car and the stock options and the exotic vacations and the home. I had a second property, a vacation home, a cottage. We call them cottages up here in Northern Canada. And yet each and every successive sort of level that I was being promoted to, I was less and less sort of fulfilled and satisfied and happy. It's like I would be happy with the change and the difference for a little while. And yeah, it just felt like the more I climbed this ladder, I didn't realize I was on, the less satisfied. And
Isn't that interesting?
And I got to this point in my life where I felt like I wish I would change. I kept saying, I take half the salary to be twice as happy.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, of course, I want both. Well, now I want 5 times the salary and 5 times the joy. So that's kind of the place that I started in. And I came to a moment where my company was going through major changes, and I was deciding where I wanted to go in the company. Every downsizing had resulted in a promotion for me. And so I was in a unique position where I didn't have to be afraid of downsizing a little bit. And I realized that I was more afraid to keep my job than I was of losing it.
That's a powerful realization, isn't it?
I call that the hashtag truth bomb,
Yeah.
And then there was this part of me that realized that I love the people that I worked with, and I could see other people might lose their job and I would keep mine. And I
Oh.
thought, what a shame that is, you know, in particular,
Yes.
my partner, my business partner at the
Yeah.
time, I was like, you know, I'm not okay with that. And it doesn't make sense. So I
Right.
chose to leave. I didn't even know I could do that, but I was like, what if I just left? And so I did. I walked away without knowing what I was going to do.
That so resonates with me. That happened to me early on in my career. I was working for an oil field service company, and we came to a place that we were going to have to downsize our office. And I worked with my best friend. And I said, rather than her lose her job, I'll just leave. So I totally can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say it was all altruistic because I was unhappy myself for sure. It's just that the combination of that didn't sit well with me. I thought if I
Yeah.
don't make this decision now, it's impacting other people, not only me.
Right.
And it was a
Yeah.
decision that needed to be made.
And I think there are so many people in that boat who've gone into those corporate careers. It looked like the career of a lifetime. They're climbing that ladder, and then they suddenly get to this place where,
Yeah.
what's it all about? You know,
Well, and for those,
why am I doing this?
yeah, and for the listeners that are out there, really, you know, at the stake of not sure if they should make that choice, I want to add another benefit of making the decision for yourself is that when the downsizing were happening, friends and colleagues lost jobs who I could really see it was the best thing for them, you know, from my perspective of things. And 6 months, a year later, they could see it as well. But because they hadn't taken the decision the way I had sort of decided for myself,
Right.
my ego didn't have to catch up with why did they let me go? I
Yeah.
didn't let my ego have that experience because I was like, I really need to go. And so I'm just, I would encourage those people that are out there going, I think it's my time, but I don't know if I want to do it. Someone else might make that decision for you. And then all of a sudden there's that space, we're all human. Like we're going to be hurt by it, even though it ends up being the best thing
Right.
for us.
It's something that's happening to you when you're let go. It's something you're choosing to do. It's your choice. You're moving forward in the other situation, the side of the coin that you took, where you
Yeah, and
made
then you
that
start
action.
at that place of this was a choice. I made
Exactly.
the choice, not always an easy one, but I made the choice.
Right.
Now I can move forward and not be in the why me place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's brilliant advice. Brilliant advice. Who do you serve in your market, Lisa? Who's your ideal client?
Yeah, I serve business owners and entrepreneurs, usually service-based. I work with a lot of people that use alternative types of techniques, processes, a variety of a lot of women business owners. I do work with men as well, but I work with a lot of women business owners. And I'll give you an example. Like, so I have a client who is an HR expert, but the way in which she does HR is completely different level of hiring and developing people's potential. It's not a traditional HR person, if you will. In fact, I always
Right.
tell her, I create a new name for you. It's not really what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes people do traditional things, but in very non-traditional ways. As
Right.
a lot of my clients, people that have a higher mission and vision of making an impact and
Right.
moving the world forward in a better way, and is tired of doing things the old way. You know, the typical grind, and it's a very it's masculine energy. It's not about men specifically, but it's a very
Right.
linear,
Right.
traditional, like grind. It has to look this way. And so we're really breaking that paradigm in the people I
Awesome.
work with.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. Because it's like people are saying there is a better way. How do we actually get this out in the world?
Right.
And then because I can support them in actually making a success of that, they're able to do that work more, which helps, in my mission. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing that is resonating for me here too is conversations we've had over the last few days about the employment world itself and how that is changing. And so what your clients are doing is part of this next evolution where people want to work for a company, because so many people are leaving because they no longer want to be a part of the way things are done.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and so,
Yeah, and I think, what I've come to realize in the work that I do now, I work a lot with people's, a tool is called soul language. And so I work with people's core energy and unique way of being. And what is becoming really, really clear is that what's hard sometimes in a standard traditional corporate job is that we expect so much from the corporation. I expected so much from the corporation. And I didn't realize, and even as a people manager, when I was trying to help people develop, people don't know, we don't know what we want sometimes. And it's very hard to create those plans in a corporate environment. So it's like, okay, take this course or learn this skill set. And what I serve people now is I do a lot of training on social emotional intelligence and tapping into your actual potential. And the more I see people working to grow their awareness of themselves, that they can step into their own brilliance. Now, if we can do that in corporate jobs, it's just that the way that's approached is a little bit different. So we don't think about it until we come out of those structures and we go, when you're an entrepreneur, you can't grow your business without growing yourself. They're so connected.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And sometimes that individual growth in the corporate environment may be stifled because you look different than the rest of the company, if that makes sense. As you step into your own space,
Definitely, almost like you don't fit
squashed.
Yeah,
You don't fit. You don't
You
fit.
fit in, or you've got to like make yourself not quite so shiny, or not so loud, or not so creative.
Exactly.
And most organizations don't always know how to leverage that. It's like, what if we have someone that thinks completely different? And I think, well, yay,
problem.
right?
Yeah.
If they don't know how to actually leverage that, then they spend the time having that person think like everybody else, right?
Exactly. And a good deal is lost in that effort.
Yeah. Or they don't put them in the right position. Sometimes you say, you're really stifling this person's potential just because they literally are in the wrong position.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful. Great impact that you're making in the world. So 2 things I want to ask you. I'll let you decide the order that you want to answer this question in. One is I'd like you to share some nuggets about what you're going to be teaching without giving it away. And 2, what attracted you to this event?
Yeah. Well, I think I can start with the first one. The attraction to the event is that it's my story, right? Escaping corporate. I used to say I was a corporate runaway. Sometimes I would say I was a corporate dropout. Sometimes I would say I was retired. I really do feel, in my heart where people are at in terms of that choice to leave, the desire to make an impact, or the desire to just express one's own potential. That's the core of where I started. And now the work that I do is all about helping people really understand their own brilliance, and then how to shine it in the world in a way that's successful, that gives them joy and brings them success at the same time. And so I have a big place in my heart for that alone. And so that
I can imagine why.
Yeah, well, and that kind of also is the teaser maybe for what we'll do, is how can people start to do that a little bit more? Because what I will say is that I'm very strong on the fact that, so it's been 9 years since I've been in corporate, since I left corporate, since I ran away. And it's several of the years early on, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing all these development courses and taking all these programs and all these things to teach me a lot of skills and things like that, which I actually didn't need. I really needed to understand who I was at my core to really feel like what was the thing that I was going to be doing.
Right.
And so the session that we're going to talk about is really understanding yourself more. So I'll give you one sentence. This is the paradigm shift that I make, is that there is a huge hidden potential inside your comfort zone.
I find that title so intriguing, and can't wait to hear what you got to say. I love that title. Every time I work with with the schedule and things and seeing that title, I'm like, I really want to hear what this is.
Well, that's why it's a paradigm shift, right? Yeah, that's why it's a paradigm shift.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I absolutely love about this event is that it's going to appeal not only to those who have left the corporate world, either voluntarily or involuntarily, but those who are thinking about it, as well as those who may already be in business for a while, but want to go back and touch base on some foundational issues and learn a few new concepts. And I think your class is perfect for that, for all of those levels. So I love that.
Yeah. And yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about the growth inside people's comfort zones. And I think that's kind of new for people. We're always kind of sold this idea that we have to stretch ourselves or go outside of our comfort zone. And I
Right.
think we've been taught that the word comfort is bad. Like it
Yeah.
means stagnant, or it means standing still or being lazy.
Right.
And so I'm gonna show people how they can actually understand a little bit more of what makes them brilliant. And I call it comfort, because when we're in that zone, that's why, your athletes talk about being in the zone,
Right.
or artists being in their flow, or
Yeah.
just, I call it the corporate version of it. I say, when you were a rock star, when you just felt like you were a rock, like
Yeah.
there were moments in
Right.
corporate, I was really happy. I loved what I was doing, and I felt like
Right.
a rock star.
Yeah.
Not from an arrogant, like I'm awesome place, but just, I was just like, oh, I knew I
Yeah,
was in it.
exactly. It's a wonderful feeling.
It feels good, right?
Yeah,
So talk
absolutely.
about how do we find that place again, and then how do we leverage that to create for ourselves, businesses and environments where we
Yeah.
can learn from there.
Right.
Like, what if we learned how to do that even better in a way
Feel that more.
right? So
Yeah.
to me, that's what that's about. And then how do we kind of do that,
Right.
Yeah.
I liken those moments to when I'm coaching and, just really feel the excitement of the impact that my client is going to make. Because for me, coaching comes down to the why I do it is that I want to be part of the ripple effect that my clients create. I want to be part of that impact that they make in the world. And so when I get off of one of those exciting coaching calls where I can really see that impact that they're going to make, I am so filled with energy and excitement that I can't contain it. And I'll literally go find my husband wherever he is in the house and say, have I ever told you how much I love what I do?
I love it. And
No,
for
honey,
me,
I've never heard that.
I love that. I love that. And you're sharing that excitement. See, that feels really good. And that wasn't out of
Yeah,
your comfort
absolutely.
zone. That's
Yeah.
right in your comfort zone. It's like,
Exactly.
feel good.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you are just doing exactly what your purpose is in life, and it just flows, and it's just so energizing, and you can't wait
Yeah.
to do it again.
I also do a lot of sales training with people, and I'm a firm believer that sales needs to be done according to your own archetypical energy. And so when I find
love that.
yeah, when I have someone that doesn't think of themselves as sales, or hates sales, or is afraid of it and thinks it's icky and all the things, and I start showing them how they can use their own energy, and they go, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
That feels good. As soon as I say,
Right.
oh, that feels really good, I'm like, okay, yeah,
We're there.
we're getting there. That's what I mean. Like, oh, the juicy part,
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've never considered myself a salesperson. And in any business I've ever owned, I've usually hired salespeople, it's like have them do it. And recently have come into my own in exactly what you're talking about. And now, just love it.
Well, to me, we're always selling. So often I'll even use the word creating buy-in. And some people, what do you mean by creating buy-in? We actually are selling, whether it's a service or a product or just an idea.
Yeah.
You even saying, I am all about the ripple effect of my client's work. You're selling them on the fact that their work could have a ripple effect.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
long before they ever pay you, it's like, it's, you're bought into the fact. When you choose a client, you're buying into their passion or to me, we all do it. We do. It throws a different energy in for a lot of people when there's a credit card involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same skill, really, in terms of creating buy-in for anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're helping them. It's not so much that you're making that sale, it's that you're helping them make the purchase, helping them make that decision to buy.
Yeah, an opportunity to buy. Now, everyone's archetypical energy will approach that differently.
Right.
And so that's why I really love to use people's energy, because one of us will say, well, we're just doing an opportunity to buy. And so that resonates perfectly for your energy. And for some people, will go, oh, that feels really good. And other people are like, okay, someone else needs something else. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Right. So
yeah, I like that. So let me ask you a question. You're aware, I think, that we have some upsells to this, and that a part of what we're doing is that people are going to have the opportunity to take that information in those workshops And every day we're giving them time to work on their plan or their business model based on what they were taught that day, based on what they worked on to implement it. So we put time actually into the schedule for that.
Yeah.
So that by the end of the 4 days, they've created their plan. Because day 1 is all about mindset, day 2 and 3 are foundation, and day 4 is implementation.
Yeah.
And so then by the end of day 4, they're ready to create that plan. So one of our upsells is that we've created a contest that they can actually submit their plan both in writing and in a short video. And we have a panel of 5 judges that are going to be reviewing. Brenda and I will sort through those, kind of tick all the boxes, make sure, you know, and pass along the top 5 to 10 to this panel of judges. The winners, well, all of those in that top group that we give to the judges, we'll get some feedback from those judges on their plan. And the winner will receive also a prize package, which currently is around $37,000, the last count I saw, of coaching sessions and email campaigns and, you know, just all kinds of things in that package. My question to you is, if you were a new entrepreneur just starting off and you had the opportunity to attend these 26 workshops to build this plan, this model for your business, and put it in front of this panel of 5 amazing business owner judges, and get their feedback on your plan at this stage, you know, at that new beginning stage of the game for you, what would that be worth to you?
I don't know. That's a good question. Like in dollars, what would that be worth?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's a dollar thing, to be honest. I would say that there's a lot of value in hearing guidance from others, in deciding kind of if your idea, you know, what would take your idea and make it marketable, really. I think is value.
Right.
Yeah. And the value is always when people can direct you in a way that feels really true. I think that's the other piece, is that
That's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
it's to really
intriguing,
also, the value of that, because really what you're looking for is you're looking for support for what it is that you're up to.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there, and it's how do I get someone to help me with my lens on it?
Right. And shorten my time frame, have more wins faster, be able to create that success faster, not have to do it all through trial and error.
Well, I think the biggest benefit, actually, now that you just said that, it's reminded me of something else, is that the recognition that you don't need to do everything alone.
Yeah.
So it's not even a matter of all these experts telling you exactly the thing you need to do. There's some benefit in that for sure. It's just that you don't need to do everything alone. There's a lot of different options out there, because sometimes we get advice from experts and they're all a little bit contradictory.
Right.
But the value of that is to recognize, wow, there are a lot of different options.
Yes. And
That's
more
when
ways than one to get there.
Right. So you can have 5 different coaches give you 5 different answers to your question.
Right.
And the value is beautiful. Beautiful. That means there's at least 5 ways. And
Right.
now I get to feel which one feels right for me.
Right.
So
I
that
love that.
is really valuable. It's like getting a little teaser of, like, you know, trying to find the right coach. You know, someone says, hire this coach. It was right for them. It might not be right for you. So here you got an opportunity in this program with information from a multitude of different experts.
Right.
You don't have to do this alone. There's a lot of options, and feel what's right. That's what I would say to that.
I love it. Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Anything else well, would you take a moment and tell folks about the, because we've asked each speaker to incentivize folks to purchase those recordings of the sessions so that they have those to go back and review and review and review. And along with that purchase of the recordings, they get a half-day VIP session with Brenda and I, a group VIP session. And then we have the contest to help them really hone their plan and get that take that to the judges and get their feedback. And so we have that, and then we have a bundle of it. And then we have the package, the prize package. Would you tell folks what you've contributed, what you're offering to folks along the way there?
Yeah, I'm going to do a sales consultation with the individual winners. Yeah, because
Excellent.
you're right. So a lot of times we get stuck in the business model and the marketing, and I want to give people a lens on some of the things that they need to think of ahead of time, so that they'll be perfectly set up to sell what they're selling.
Excellent. I love it.
Yeah, so we'll give them the consultation on that to see where they might.
Very good. So that's in the prize package, right?
The price package.
the winner
Yeah. And
package, yeah.
I do think that she's got a copy of my book to give.
Yes,
individuals
I
as
believe we
well.
do. Tell us
Yeah.
about the book.
Yeah, so the book, I wrote the book shortly after I left corporate, because I found all of these people that had also walked away from these really successful careers and started something on their own. And I thought, instead of looking at the big experts around the world, what about the everyday average Joe? How did they leave, and how did they start, and where did they find success, and what were some of their
Awesome.
limitations? And so the book is really, it's my journey weaved in through all these interviews I did with people.
Right.
And I started to see some themes about the way. So it's called Finding Fabulous, Paving the Path Between Paycheck and Passion.
Love it.
And it really is kind of, again, that like community that is, figuring these things out as they go.
Yes.
And say, I'm not the only one that's like
Right.
getting in my own way.
And that's perfect for this group. Absolutely a perfect piece for this group. Thank you for writing that book.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, we are so excited and looking forward to your class. I believe we have you on day
One, I think she said.
1. I believe you're on day 1. I don't have that time slot right in my head at the moment, but I believe you're early on day 1. So we're looking forward to it. And we appreciate you coming on today and walking through this with us and sharing with folks what you're going to be delivering, who you are, and them getting to know you a bit ahead of time.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate you so much. See you soon. See you next
Okay.
week.
Wow. Right?
Cool, really cool.
Richard, you had a good time.
We did. We had a good time. Yes.
You can see why it's like you and the other guy we talked
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
Me and Lisa were like just like that in 2016. I mean,
Awesome.
my sister said, "Oh my goodness me, you kind of like came out of that interview buzzing," because I interviewed something like 36 experts. I mean, 1 or 2 of them, I didn't go ahead with them, and Lisa was one of a handful that I hit it off straight away, and I've stayed in touch with them because she's so genuine. You can tell she's so genuine. She's
Yeah.
authentic. And
Yeah.
also the subject, I mean, and at that time I think she was just publishing a book actually. And she said, "What did you think about escape?" And I said, "So our stories, same thing." Because even climbing the corporate ladder, I climbed the corporate ladder by accident, like she did as well, because some top person at the the headquarters just sort of said, "We hear you're doing very good things. Can you just come and spend a month at the headquarters?" Before I knew it, I had a senior job. I enjoyed working with young people, and I wanted direct contact with people who need my services. I don't like all this bureaucracy. So yeah. And just like Lisa as well, the more I went up the ladder, the more unhappy I found. But actually, I couldn't articulate it like that because at the time I just thought, well, you rationalize it, don't you? You say, "Oh, I'm tired," or
Yeah.
"I'm stressed, it's too much work," rather than
Right.
actually, I am fundamentally unhappy about what I am doing, the work
Right.
I'm doing, and I need to leave. Yeah. So, yeah, no,
And-
I love Lisa. I love Lisa.
Oh yeah, great gal. I really enjoyed the interview, and I really like her book is just perfect for this.
Mm.
And folks, that book is when you order the recordings and
Yeah.
that VIP session with Brenda and I, you get her book.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, very, very excited to have
Immediately
her be
said, we want your
participating.
book. We want your book there, Lisa. And she said, of course you can have the book, because I knew that it's just literally what we want people to have,
Exactly.
isn't it,
Yeah.
Regina? Yeah.
It is. It's perfect. It's
But yeah, that's
absolutely perfect for
absolutely,
this
yeah.
event.
Yes, it is.
Barb, comments and thoughts from you today.
I thought it was a very fresh and new perspective, that you walk away from it because you know it's time.
Yes.
I didn't necessarily know that it was time when I left. And it just events kind of pushed me out the door, but it was the best thing that happened.
Mm.
And I can look back on it, excuse me, and realize that I wasn't giving it my 100% like I always had in my life.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I wasn't happy anymore.
Yeah.
I wasn't fulfilled.
Yeah.
So I
And
can
it comes on
totally
you
relate.
slowly, doesn't it? It's
What?
a condition that comes on you slowly. It's not not a lightning bolt. It's a progression,
Yeah.
a
It
slow
creeps up on
progression.
you. It creeps
It
up on
does.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah, slow progression,
And
and suddenly you're there, and you don't realize how you got there.
yeah, and you actually say to yourself, how did I get here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I would see people from the office where I had worked, and they would ask me how I was doing in retirement, I said, listen, retirement is underrated. You need to do it as soon as you can. Because I was
Underrated.
so
Love it.
much happier, so much more fulfilled,
Yeah.
not being in that environment anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are so right, actually, Barbara, because I haven't met anybody from my 30 plus years in corporate since I left who hasn't remarked on, they actually say, oh my God, what happened to you? And I go, so to start with, I thought, oh, they think I'm ill or something. I say, you look 10 years younger, you look happier. And I go, yeah, I am actually. For the first
thing
time
about
in
that-
my entire life, I am happy. I know what happy is. You
Yeah.
say, yeah, your whole persona, your whole being, you look happy, and say, yes, because I am happy from inside. I'm not just baring my teeth like I used to, in the office. I would just, then people think that I'm smiling, I'm happy, when really inside I was dying. Yeah. No, yeah, that was as you say, Barbara, refreshing, because where Lisa comes into it, yet again, it's a different perspective. Everybody's bringing in different perspectives.
Isn't it awesome?
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah. Please join us, because then you will get more of these golden nuggets. At the moment, you're only getting snippets, because that's all the time we have during this live cast. But for the workshops, all of these awesome, fantastic people will actually drill down into their topics. So you actually get to understand what Lisa means about, everything hidden inside of you, your potential hidden inside. What does that mean? How do you get hold of it? How do you make the most of it? It's all of that. And everybody that, you've heard from all, the last 3 days will be doing the same. So you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Everything to gain.
May I share screen again for a moment? I want to share something based on what you had said a moment ago, Brenda, about that rat race.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I love this picture.
Of course.
And
I need to, can I say before we go any further,
please.
I need to credit it to the
good.
person who kindly put this together for me. He is actually known, yet again, somebody with a nickname. He is known as Living Icon Paul. He's based in India. And when we just happened to be talking about something. And when I told him about, he says, what are you up to these days? What are you doing right now? So I said about the event that Regina and I are putting together. And he said, and I said, I just, how I am really visual, but I just wish I could just have an image. Literally the next day, this pinged up in my inbox. I was so happy because it says it all, doesn't it, people?
It does. And
Doesn't
it's
it
that
all?
hamster wheel,
Yeah.
that we're on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I just want to say, the people who attend this event are going to look back on it with so much gratitude that, number one, they attended, and number two, that you folks put this together for them and help them to make that biggest decision of their life.
Oh, that is so nice of
Thank
you to
you.
say that, Barbara.
Absolutely.
But for me, what the gratitude I want is actually that people, and I know we're all busy, incredibly busy. Even if you can't actually make the whole 4 days, you attend at least one workshop, and
Yeah.
it makes a difference to your life. It makes a difference, to whether you're in corporate, to enabling you to actually live, if that is what you've been trying to do, but you just didn't know, you didn't have the know-how, or whether you just set out on the journey as a new entrepreneur, and this gives you the skills to move up a gear, to actually, feel that you know what you're doing. That for me are the biggest thank yous that we could ever want, really, because we want
Priceless.
exactly
Priceless. Yeah.
exactly invaluable, absolutely.
Are you seeing a change in my screen? Do you now see the banner?
Yes,
Or-
can I
yeah.
see the
Okay.
banner for the
Okay, good
event?
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
just wanted folks to be able to see this.
I think that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. You're sharing with
Yeah.
people.
So
Yeah.
we start the event, folks, next week on Tuesday, the 26th.
Yeah.
If you've heard about this through someone else, if someone else has recommended that you come check this out, they have a link for you for the page to register. But we're also going to post the registration page below this,
Yeah.
that you can come to it. But if someone did send you, get with them and get their registration link so we know that you came through them.
Yeah.
We want to honor them for sharing this with their audience and for bringing folks to us. So please let us know by using their link instead of our link. But if you came through it just through us, or you just found us on Facebook, or
Then just
however else
use
you
our
got
link.
here,
Yeah.
then just use our link. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
get signed up, because my guess is that we have some,
we're gonna fill up. Yeah.
I think it's going to fill up. We have some powerful people promoting this and
Yes.
bringing people in, because there's such a need for it today. So
Yeah.
the sooner you register, the greater the chance that you're
better.
going to be able
Yeah.
to reserve your seat at.
Yeah. Don't get disappointed because we've reached the limit for the rooms. So
And we're not basing that on false scarcity.
No,
folks.
no.
The softwares have limits to how many people we
Exactly.
can have in a room.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so there is a limit there that we're limited to by the
Yeah.
software we use. So
And
I
can
mean,
I
if it
just
was
say,
if it was up to us, Regina, we would just say, whoever wants to attend,
just
thousands, just come along. But there is a limit to how much the software can cope with.
handle.
Yeah.
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 Barb,
Sorry,
what were you gonna say?
Barbara.
yeah, I was just going to say, if you've had any kind of inkling that it may be your destiny not to be in corporate America,
Or anywhere in the world, corporate.
Oh, yeah, it's any
in
corporate.
corporate, yeah.
Yeah, working for someone
If
else.
the idea has even entered your head, you owe it to yourself to check this out. We're not saying it's for everyone. We're not saying it's going to resonate with every person who attends. But I got to tell you that there are so many different perspectives and not just viewpoints, but people who have been there, done that, got the prize and
Yeah.
Bought the t-shirt. Been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt.
Yeah, there you go. That you just owe it to yourself to come and look.
Yeah. And it's free to come and look.
Yeah.
And if you know that if you cannot be there the whole time, you do have the option of getting the recording so you can watch it later. So
Yeah.
if your schedule is saying, I really
your
want,
leisure.
you're saying, I really want this, but my schedule is not allowing it, then look at the upsell of getting the recording so that you can watch it later at your convenience. But we encourage you not to get them unless you're going to actually do that, because
Yeah.
there's no point in buying it and sitting it on a shelf and not doing the work. So, or not at least looking at it. So make sure
Absolutely.
that it's, something you want, that you're really considering doing. But
Yeah.
we look forward to having you at the event next week. We are excited for all of the speakers who are bringing their amazing talents and experiences to this for you. As I
You see
mentioned
how
before,
much
they're
we're
not
still-
getting paid for speaking.
No. You see how much we're continuing to use the word excited.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
excited. Regina's mentioned it again, and we keep using it simply because we are.
We are.
We are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We might be easily excitable, but this really isn't
Yeah.
exciting.
That's true.
oh dear. I love
we
that.
hope- But like I said, when we post this, when we get off of here, we'll post the link to it
Yes.
in the
I
post.
think
And
that would
or
be
the
good.
comments.
Yeah.
And then, share it with others that that may be in need of this. Other people that there's a share button there. You'll be able to share the video. You can go back and watch the videos from Monday and Tuesday. We'll be here 2 more days, tomorrow and Friday. We'll have more speakers for you to listen to, or facilitators, workshop facilitators. Thank you for that
Facilitators,
language,
workshop
Brenda. I've
facilitators.
struggled with that since the beginning. I don't know why, but it never dawned on me.
I don't know either.
I know.
I've been saying gently, workshop facilitator. Oh,
Well, you weren't
teacher,
saying it boldly enough,
teachers,
evidently.
Oh, it's my fault.
My hearing didn't pick it up. So anyway, we appreciate all of our workshop facilitators. We
Yeah,
appreciate this opportunity to bring this to those who are leaving their jobs working for, and we know people are leaving by droves, whether by their own choice or someone else's
Absolutely.
choice. And we just have to do something to help. And so that's why we pulled this together, is to help you move forward faster, so you don't go through years of trying to figure it out on your own. Everybody you've heard from said this is not, that entrepreneurship is not a single, it's not a something you do on your own. It's something you do with the help of others.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so important to have that
It took
help.
me a while to learn that.
Oh, it took us all a while to learn
It
that.
took all of us, Barbara, all of us, absolutely.
We've paid the debt so you don't have to. Is what it amounts to.
Exactly.
We've paid the debt so you don't have to. We have gone through the years of torture, the scarcity, all of those challenges that every one of these speakers is speaking about, so that you don't have to. We've all already paid that price, and you can learn from our mistakes and not have to make those mistakes on your own. You're going to make enough of them on your own. You don't need to make these.
No need to reinvent the wheel either. No need to invent the wheel. That is
Exactly.
unnecessary in this day and age. We are here to
Right.
give you the tools, toolkit, and the resources to make sure, as Regina says, that you don't have to go through all of the ramifications that we did.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're about finished for today.
I think so.
And so come
bye,
back and
people.
join us tomorrow.
We
Same
look
time
forward to
tomorrow.
seeing you all tomorrow.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Barb, thanks for
Thank
being
you,
here with us.
Regina.
Proud.
Thank you, Barbara.
Brenda. And thanks to all of our speakers who joined us today, whether they were
Yeah,
pre-recorded or came in
absolutely.
live. We appreciate
Absolutely.
it so
They
much.
all joined us, however
Yeah,
they joined us. So thank you
exactly.
very much to each and every one of them. Yeah.
So have an amazing day, and we will see you tomorrow.
Have an amazing evening. If your neck of the wood is now
Morning,
evening,
day, wherever
or
you are.
morning,
Yeah.
wherever you are on planet Earth.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.